right. Apologies for the technical difficulties that you, our faithful MP3 listeners, did not even know
Don't even
occurred.
know about.
And for the lateness that you, our faithful MP3 listeners, did not feel at all because you just clicked and downloaded and played as you normally would. Thank you
Is
for
it an
listening.
MP3 and not a WAV file?
It's an MP3, yeah.
I guess.
I convert it to compress it, keep the.
I mean,
keep the
that makes
quality.
sense.
Yeah, that's what it is, you know.
Hey, Wooly, now that I finally have you face to face, I want to congratulate you on becoming an official pawn, or rather, getting an official pawn, not becoming one, in Dragon's Dogma 2. Congratulations, buddy. You absolutely deserve it, and I'm very glad that this has now kicked your ass all the way in,
All the way in
to Dragon's Dogma forever.
as in as can possibly be. There's no back down. There's no back out. There's no exit point. The door has now been locked behind me. The conversation will occur. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's we'll see what happens there. Although I guess we're still a little ways out before much can be said, right?
Oh yeah, we don't know anything about Dragon's Dogma 2.
There's nothing that can be. We can't really say much.
No, there's nothing that can be discussed. Absolutely nothing.
Except for what has been tweeted out by the official account, which is yay. Hey, there you go.
And also, shout out to Susie, that'd be the Sphere Hunter, for also getting an official pawn. And Max, of course.
Yes, as well. Very cool. I saw that Max gets to be on all platforms, and that's cool. I think not everybody gets the privilege.
Not everybody gets the fancy, schmancy, all-platform privilege.
Yeah, I think that's reserved, but nonetheless,
it's reserved for the pawn bourgeoisie, Wooly.
Perhaps. And I saw. I mean, look, some people have batted some theories around, and I saw one was that perhaps Capcom needed a black pawn on that list, and you know, I, I don't know if that's what the case is, but
Wooly, I'm absolutely certain that it has way more to do with the fact that you're like a nice guy and a talented networker and a good creator in your own right, and like are an absurd Capcom mega mark, rather than the fact that you are, in fact, a black guy.
Well, thank you for the kind words. But yeah. But there's always.
Are you the only black person?
I think so. I'm not sure. So Occam's razor still hangs overhead, like Damocles. Damocles' Occam's sword razor is still maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
But that's not even a guarantee that you would have made a black pawn.
No, actually, because it didn't necessarily have to be that. That's true. That is true. I could have just not done that. But I'm not too sure. But thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess there will be much to discover. I'm gonna be streaming it on Saturday. And
hey, what time are you streaming it on Saturday?
Streaming it at 1 p.m. We're going a little bit early, and I think it's because there's a chance I think they're trying to set up a little possible front page action. That would be pretty interesting. I'm not too sure if that's all confirmed and stuff, but that would be cool.
Well, I'm not doing anything Monday morning, so if it starts on Monday, I'm here Monday mornings. No, Saturday morning. So if you want, I can give you a call and explain how bullshit works, and if not, I can just backseat the fuck out of you in your chat, which I'm super excited to do.
By all means, you can navi and give us the what's what as we enter this world of unfamiliarity and in an official context. Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. So Uh, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm like the immediate point that I go into is like I have like here's a list of questions, but I'm like we can't. So let's just
Well, you can't ask me any questions about Dragon's Dogma 2 because we don't know anything about
we don't
Dragon's Dogma 2.
know
But you could
anything.
always ask me generalized Dragon's Dogma questions that I would be familiar with,
Um, if
like wolves hunt in packs.
yes, like
That's
I get.
known.
I guess the my yeah the thing I wanted to know about a bit was like how the composition of your class versus other classes of the pawns you're rolling with affects your strat.
That is a great question that has nothing to do with Dragon's Dogma 2. That is an easily answerable question, only referring to the original Xbox, PlayStation 3, and PC release of Dragon's Dogma 1 and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen.
Good observation.
It is. So the long and short of it is that Dragon's Dogma is a type of... So it's a it's a RPG. You're wandering around. You're encountering problems and solving those problems with a stick and or a magic or a bow. And the basic gist of it is that most party compositions are going to be viable to some degree, but it is a game made out of hard counters. So certain things will fly to pieces on physical damage, or they do or they're very aggressive and they do a lot of damage and don't let you cast spells. So you would want a warrior or like a fighter, something sturdy. However, there are other particular situations where your job will be done dramatically easier if you have somebody who can cast a lightning spell or can shoot a bow from far away. So can 4 warriors work? Yes. Can 4 mages work? Absolutely. But the easiest way to compare it is like Final Fantasy 1.
Okay.
Where somebody goes like 4 white mages, it'll never work. I mean, you can make it work.
Yeah.
But like it would probably be a little easier if you just kind of covered at least like not all your bases, but like more than one base.
Okay, so it can work, but you're just ramming your way through every challenge.
And you can run into situations where you hit like not a wall, but a very hard impediment.
Hard counter, yeah,
so,
yeah. Okay.
So like in DD1, there's the Griffin, right? The Griffin is a flying bird monster. And it's a lot easier to shoot it if you have something to shoot when it's flying around like a bow. And if you burn its wings with an element or a spell, it can't fly for a while, which turns it into a grounded fight. So like can 4 fighters or striders like jump onto it and just fucking stab it in the head as much as they want? Yeah, no, that can work. But like it's easier to light it on fire and hit it with lightning while also shooting it with arrows and also stabbing it. Like probably the best example of this is mages. So mages are the only healer. Like cleric and mage have shoved together to become mage. And they're the only people in DD1 that have a heal spell. It's called Anodyne. It's a really powerful, really easy to use heal spell because there's no magic points, there's just stamina. So if you have a mage in your gang, oh fuck yeah, free healing forever. Like you heal after every single encounter. But mages aren't actually all that strong offensively. Whereas sorcerers get to use all that stupid, ridiculous anime magic shit that I showed you last week. But they have specifically no healing of any kind whatsoever. So, do you want to rock a sorcerer and a mage? Well, now you only have 2 people that aren't made out of glass. So you have to spend more of your time protecting your squishies. Do you want to go with a standard party? What's that?
But also you can cast faster if you have multiple people.
Well, no, that's not in DD1. That's only in DD2, which they showed in the previews.
Okay.
Which is where I'm pulling that from, the previews.
The previews, yes.
But in DD1, you could do something like, I'm gonna roll 2 fighters, an archer, and a sorcerer. So nobody has any healing other than items. And the idea there is that you're so offensively stacked that you shouldn't be having to take a lot of damage anyway, because you're beating things with hammers while meteors and tornadoes are going off.
Right.
Things like the best defense is a good offense. But yeah, as long as you have some variability in your party, you can make it work. Like, I would not recommend somebody to go 4 of one class. That's probably asking for trouble. But going like 2 of one class and then different one, yeah, that'd work. That'd be fine. No problem there.
But you're not like completely locked the fuck out if that's how you want to play it, or if you're.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No. There will be things that are harder or softer, right? So like in Dragon's Dogma 1, I think I brought this exact thing up to you, which is there's the metal golem, which
Yes, right.
unlike the regular golem where you smash its body parts on its body, the metal golem has them hidden around the environment. And mages have a really hard time hitting the tokens that bring the golem to life. Warriors and fighters have an almost impossible time hitting the things. But anybody with a bow can just go, oh, there it is, bang. There it is, bang. Dead golem.
Okay.
You know, and the regular golem in DD1, like if you had a mace instead of a sword, it did way more damage to its weak points because it's made of fucking rocks.
Okay. Yeah. And well, okay, and then I guess there's some of the weapon type stuff as well with the exclusivities, but yeah, okay, so that's good. I'm glad to know that whatever I choose to roll with, or however the composition looks, things aren't going to be too limited.
Well, the other thing, at the end of the day, let's say you let's pick fucking mage. So you played mage as your primary vocation on your main character, and you got to like rank 9 in mage, and you're like, I think I hate this. I would like to change this to an archer or a strider, rather, in DD1. Well, you can part of your learned abilities is what's called an augment, and those are passives that can go to anything. So, because you hit rank 9 with mage, you can add the passive extra magic resistance. Okay. Or faster spell casting, which some of the martial classes also have.
Okay, so just kind of
so
like
you'll get
fine-tune your
out
build
of
a
having
little bit.
that. Yeah. But if you're crazy, what you're going to do is go, well, I want to be an assassin, so I'm going to level this much in warrior so I can get that thing, and then I'm going to level this much in strider so I can get that thing, and then I'm going to level this much in fighter so I can get that thing, and I'm going to level this much in sorcerer in order to get that thing. So like in Dragon's Dogma 1, sorcerer had an augment that like lowered the prices in shops.
Okay, yeah.
So cool. Like there was this part of your playthrough we were like, maybe you should fucking put 5 ranks into sorcerer so you can make everything in the game like 10% cheaper.
Also, so in the hit classic Dragon's Dogma 1 available now,
Dark Arisen.
That is you can also edit your pawn later, right? Like
it's called the Art of Metamorphosis, I think.
Okay, there's a way to correct. Let's say
so everything about it, in DD1, everything about your pawn's appearance can be changed with like a. Wait, is that there? I can't remember. The look I can't remember, but I know you can change what's called their inclination. And their inclination is their shit like, do they love items, or are they crazy and run in every time they want?
The behavior stuff. Yeah, okay. Because if one were to want to correct something like a height mistake, for example, that would be a great way to do it.
So. There was a barber in DD1. I don't know if it could change your height, but I know that in the pre-order page for Dragon's Dogma 2, there is a extra DLC bundle that includes something called the Art of Metamorphosis, and in the little asterisk it says some of these things may be available in-game.
Okay.
So that will probably also be a usable option in Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm just guessing, though.
I'm hoping so. Yeah,
that would be really nice if that was one of the things that was actually available in game rather than just DLC. I think that would be a bad idea. I don't think they're going to do that.
Okay. That's good because it would be, it'd be nice to be able to, let's say someone were to make themselves a little too short, to be able to correct that.
I don't know what that's like. In Dragon's Dogma 1, dude, you go to like 160 centimeters, I think it was, or maybe 158, and then there's a one level below that, which was 110 centimeters. It's like child size. I didn't pick that one. I picked the smallest human you could be.
Yeah, so like there's the number, like I didn't even, because again, centimeters is just not usually the way we think about.
Yeah, Canadian measurements are so stupid.
We're fucked because of America, and we have our hybrid thing going on where
blame the Americans.
It is their Americans' fault because we measure in pounds and we measure in feet and inches, and
once it gets far away, it's metric again.
Exactly. But yeah, so like I was just looking at numbers as opposed to centimeters, and anyway, that's fine.
Like in the DD2 character creator that's available now as a demo,
you can get
it actually doesn't list the centimeters. It just has a number.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I internalized that after looking at it for a bit. Like, oh, that's centimeters.
I didn't at all. That's where I fucked up. Yeah.
So what are you? You're like 6'1", right?
Yeah.
6'2"?
Yeah. But I may have made myself like 5'10" or so.
6 feet 1 inches in cm is
188.
85, 86.
Okay. And there's a like, yeah, as we all know, the difference between 5'11" and 6 foot is literally Wander and the Colossus.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. If you're the kind of person who would want to make your own character or your own self as a facsimile, Dragon's Dogma actually takes it a lot more seriously than most games, in that your height and average weight matter to things.
It does tell you your weight as you're scaling yourself. Yeah.
So the reason for that is two things. Your hitbox in Dragon's Dogma is your character.
It's real. It's actually...
It's real. It is actually your character. So me, who plays small characters, much harder to strike by large
Get an
beasts.
advantage. Okay.
But the length of my swings on my weapons is
the range trade-off. Okay.
Weight matters in terms of weight on enemies. So in DD1, there was like griffins, and like there were certain valleys that had like a lot of wind pressure. And the people who are like closer to max weight could like move unimpeded, but people on the lower end of the weight scale would be like, fuck, and like your movement would be like 10%.
Does it affect your thing? Because like in a Souls game, you get like fat rolls and stuff. Is there any aspect like that to defense or dodging? No.
Fat rolls.
Okay.
And also affects your stamina recovery, I think. Where the smaller you are, the less total stamina you have, but the faster it recovers. So do you want a big bar that recovers slowly, or do you want a small bar that recovers super fast?
Right. Okay. Yeah. And now
but these are within like
small
10, 20 percentile.
Small variation.
It's all flavor.
No, you're describing like armored core builds at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But it's your own human body, or if you're playing DD2, probably your own cat. What the fuck are they called? The Catmans.
Yeah,
Catmans.
Cat people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm forgetting all sorts of stuff. Small people can climb faster. It does affect your movement speed. It does affect your carry capacity.
Is there a point where if too many big people on a monster and it'll just like fall over or something, like, or it's just like too heavy, fall, because I
don't think that's in the first game, but they've shown that in the second game.
Nice.
Where like pushing and pulling on monsters will have an effect on your character's weight in terms of how hard you can push them.
Just gang tackle, just fell it down. Cool. I like that.
There's like a big reason why you're seeing people dump like dozen hours into this game's character creator. One, man, that DD2 character creator is bananas.
Yeah, no, like like this is the first time in a long time where I've pulled up like reference photos to like highly detailed things. So clearly, Capcom after the Street Fighter Six creator just kind of took all of that forward into like this level of precision, which means I guess from here on out, anything they do with a character creator on this engine is going to be really, really in depth.
Yeah, it's also like I've been fucking with the character creator so much, and it's also like it gives you like presets, but it'll also be like, hey, does this guy kind of look like you? Okay, pick them. Now we're gonna give you like a radial of like
The radial
which one
is
of
great.
these kind of looks like you even more.
Yeah. From the presets, you get 2 sets of like slight variation to the preset you've chosen to just say, here's a couple hairstyle differences. Here's some different neck thicknesses. You know,
It's really great
smart.
because like when you're starting from like generic player one and you're looking at like I have so much to fucking change. Like, you know, it's nice to be able to like, okay, let's grab somebody with my skin type and the general shape of my face, and then I'm gonna start editing from there, like as a starting point, instead of just like blank slate.
And then there's also like extra fine tuning with like the skin texture type and skin texture shade, which are different from the skin tone, so that it's almost like a feature in place to stop the purple skin color problem. You know, like they have fine tuning abilities to like bring it back to being you know, lively and red or orange or brown and different hues of that. And
So
if
like
you want to go,
when I was fucking with that character creator, I discovered that like in order to get my weird pink shade, like I had to go with like this skin color, but I also had to give it like a blue undertone to like offset lighting because I'm like a super pink guy. And just a huge, ridiculous amount of options in there.
It's also funny because it's like this is one of the only character creators I can think of in recent memory where there's straight up an option to be like, hey, do you want to have one of your eyes just closed for any particular reason? I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you just felt like if you felt like having an eye closed for, you know, any
I'm gonna just tell you right now, Wooly, in Dragon's Dogma 1, guts is one of the presets.
Well, so the thing, but don't make anything that's legally dubious or copyrightable. Yeah, don't do that. But here's the ability. Yeah, those are incredibly detailed.
I just sent Wooly the current Pat and Big page, which by the way, I shout out to, I don't know if you know Vextalis.
Yeah, Vex, yeah.
Who shows up to our shows. So he's a character creator freak. He just did you see that Reggie he made?
I don't think so.
He made like a photo scanned in perfect Reggie and posted it on the subreddit.
Okay, I might have taken a crack at it, and we'll see. I mean, also shout outs to Dakota McDoodle, who also made some cool versions of us, and yeah, definitely helped with some of the details that like I was putting together into what I was building as well. Yeah, there's a couple of like amazing, just like down to the little like quirks of like the nose and the bit and stuff, you know. And something that I've found I've been able to do in a couple games recently that has been cool is I discovered this I think in Wolong when I was making the character creator in that if you go to like a game that has multiple tattoo application features, and in this case Dragon's Dogma has 2 that you can apply, you can find if I can find like a single line or a single circle, I can then create 4 dots and create a little small tattoo that goes right above my eyebrow, and then create a single line that goes right across my lip and basically make piercings, you know?
Yeah.
If the game doesn't
What you can also do is people figured out, hey, you know that tattoo slider can go really high and can cover like every single inch of skin on your body. So people on the Fashion Dogma subreddit were making like goblins.
Oh shit. Okay. Full color recolors. Yeah, full skin recolor. Okay.
But But before I forget, so I saw that incredible Reggie. I don't know, did you see it? Yes, sir.
I no, actually, I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
It was bananas. So I reached out to him and I commissioned him to help me make like edits to my characters, and now they are just like they're as good as they can get. So shout out to Vextalist.
Thank you. Yeah, I took a crack at a Reggie, and I think it's not bad. I think it's not bad. So, but we'll see later.
Hey, shout out to Capcom for like having a like huge wide variety of excellent like black character options in that character creator.
It's nice to see the hairstyles doing what they're supposed to do, and I don't have to talk about Hogwarts.
You don't have to.
It's nice to have a character creator that is doing equal amounts of awesome shit with black hair. Yes, that was quite cool. It's there's like different fro thicknesses as well, and there's like different curl intensities, and yeah, just all it's nice, and it properly shows to in the facial hair. You can get like thick beards or loose haired beards, or all or just like even the mixture of grain. There's different types of grain as well, so
if the second game is anything like the first, it's going to be really funny because certain vocations, the work that you put into your character's head is rewarded differently. So like fighters and warriors, etc. Like, do you want the best gear? Get ready to wear that fucking bucket on your head. Just full, complete.
Really?
So what you saw a lot in Dragon's Dogma 1 is that you saw a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, who made cool looking pawns just didn't give their pawn headgear at all so that you could see their head and they would look cool, even though it was statistically worse.
So
but,
I get
and here's hey, hold on. Because this is one of those games that's like, hey, guess what? There's a fucked up system for that. In DD1, and I assume DD2, you have 5 weight thresholds. It's not like, oh, I'm encumbered or I'm not encumbered. It's you have encumbrance ranging all the way from very light, average, heavy, and extremely heavy, and only at the top of heavy are you encumbered.
Over encumbered, okay.
And that affects your stamina, and it affects your movement speed and your jump height. So if you pull your helmet off to look pretty, and it kicks you 1 weight class down, it's worth it because you'll be faster.
Right. Okay. If you get that, if you're at that limit, but also hide helmet option.
Oh, fuck you!
Just if need
fuck
be.
Your shit.
Hide helmets is just to.
That shit's for pussies.
God fucking. Man.
Next, you're gonna tell me you want fast travel like some kind of dork.
I mean, if the design is built around that shit being expensive and difficult, as you mentioned, then not necessarily. But the idea of glamour and cosmetics and stuff being something that you can highly fine tune is always sick.
Yeah, you can highly fine tune. Just take your hat off.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a point in Dragon's Dogma 1 that somewhere around like the 30 or 40% mark where you're like, I want more gear, but god damn it, I look like a fucking dweeb. Because not only is like, oh, I got this weird helmet, but like you're too poor to afford the full set. So you're wearing like scale mail, and like rags for pants. You're like, I'm doing my best.
World Tour just threw on that, like, what do you want to look like? What do you want your stats to be? They just had those 2 screens, and you can just be as naked as the day you were born, but like have the proper armor underneath it in terms of numbers.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma was an incredibly strange series of games. Is it a series? I guess I'm gonna call it, because Dragon Dark Arisen was a separate release.
There are now
where
going to be
like
3 of them. Yeah.
anti-quality of life features are presented with gusto.
With relish. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's like a really good example where in Dark Arisen there was the super dungeon that you could get like so you'd have like a move called Biting Wind, and it would upgrade to like 1,000 Wind or something. And then you could get like Million Wind. These are the wrong names. I'm remembering them incorrectly. But the point is, there was like a third upgrade that came out with Dark Arisen. But it required you to wear a ring on one of your ring slots to even unlock the move to exist at all. And it's like, look, guys, you can give up one of your extremely valuable ring slots to make one of your moves better. And like the most people were like, can't I just get the better move? No! Put the ring on!
Okay. So yeah, there's some intended limitation to the fun that can be had here, I suppose. Or the fun is to be found in the limitations.
In DD1, they were so into the pawn system that you'd get a quest and it would be something like really vague, like find the book, and you would just get absolutely no guidance or quest marker of any kind. And it would just be like, go find the book. And you're like, oh, okay. And it's like they are banking on you hiring a pawn from someone that did do the quest, and then the marker would show up on your map. But only the version of the quest that the pawn saw. So if there were multiple endings to the quest, and the pawn you hired only did one version of them, the markers on the map will only appear for that variation.
Yeah, okay. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I remember from the jump, it was that whole, wow, so pawns and the history they have affect your fucking run to that ability.
It's so, like, you want your pawn to be cool looking and viable in battle, because every time they go out with somebody and find where an item is of treasure, how to fight a monster, where an item is, where the environment is, or where any quest responses are, they will pull that back in and work as... They will function as that guy in an MMO who already hit level cap and go, yeah, I know where to go for this.
But it's so much more than just a summon sign, you know?
Yeah.
It's gonna literally change what type of shit you unlock.
It's such a goddamn strange system, because they're like, it's like a fake MMO, and people are like, can I play multiplayer? And I'm like, no. Why the fuck would you play multiplayer when you have these pawns, idiot? Jeez.
And setting the different dispositions and such, I guess, is a...
Yeah, so there was like a couple dispositions.
If you want to have a stubborn pawn that's going to run into battle, and
there was a disposition in like DD1 called Medicant, I think. It was like, hey, it's a medic. And if you put it on like a mage, they would heal you a lot. And you're like, oh, that sounds great, because I want my pawn to be a medic, to, you know, I want my mage to be a healer. It was like disastrous. Because if you took any damage at all, the mage would stop casting whatever they were casting before and switch to the heal
and waste. Okay.
And they would just they would become a heal bot.
Okay.
And it was like,
yeah. Well, okay.
I hate that.
Well, I guess this is where the ability to fine tune that behavior would be nice, and that's a great place to switch right over, because you can fine-tune that behavior to the nth degree in Unicorn Overlord.
My God, you were playing Unicorn Overlord.
I sure did.
Unicorn Stree. I had to fucking explain Stree Overlord to my wife, and that ruled. She's like, why the fuck did Wooly call his thing Unicorn Stree Overlord?
But now in my head it's already become Stree Overload. so it's just Unicorn Overload and Stree Overload. So we're well past the point of making any sense whatsoever. But yeah, did a session of that, and then after we finished, I kept playing, because yeah,
Because it fucking kicks ass.
it really does, and I love seeing how Vanillaware figures out like how to like their art, their sprites are the main course, and it's like how do we give you this in the right amount of doses without overdoing it each time and such. And in this case, it's like there's a whole lot of that game that is effectively, if you wanted to never see a Vanillaware sprite, you could. Every battle you could press start to skip, and every cutscene you could just ignore.
Automate a huge proportion of it
and just turn it into an old ass, I guess, tactics ogre or ogre battle, right? Like type situation. But no, but you definitely want to sit and watch the awesomeness of that fight unfold and see every time a new sprite or a new character joins the battle, and you want to catch their lines and stuff. And when you hire different recruits, you can like customize their little abilities. You can do a little quick build of them and their name and what they sound like. What type of do you want your healer to Sun when she heals you, or do you want her to just be like apathetic goth? You know, like how cheerful do you want your character, your hires to be? Which is nice. I like that. Surprising amount of stuff to do on the map. I really kind of expected
more than you would expect.
Way more than I would expect going on the overworld map of that. Yeah, I thought a lot of that game would be kind of just like mission to mission, and then in between that you might have a little bit of like talking to people here and there, filling out the story, and then moving on. But like a heavy majority so far is like shopping at these different places, getting the right equipment that is limited at a certain
and this
shop.
Village sucks. You want to guard this village?
Yeah, finding them, doing their fetch quests for them, and then putting someone down that you can now have an S-Link upgrade with, and equipping everybody on your team with the best gear all the time is just literally not a possibility. You are not given enough to do so.
I don't know how I feel about that when I went to, in the demo, when I went to like, I'm going to buy new swords, and they're like, well, we have 2.
Yeah. Who do you want to give it to? And
I want to give it to everyone. He's like, well, I only have 2, so fuck off.
And that's the interesting thing is like you are shopping, but you're not upgrading your army. You're upgrading like individuals at best. It's treating it as if it were a small RPG party, but you've got fucking 10 mouths to feed and eventually more. And I'm still doing the like onboarding, getting all the different classes and stuff as you go around that first initial area. But yeah, like I definitely it's fun though. Like I do appreciate that like you can go see where the next mission is or side mission and such, and kind of like, all right, I feel like I'm strong enough, let me go take on this one, or I don't have the right ability to like take on this type of class of unit yet. But it gives you a lot of opportunities to do sparring, to do fine tuning on your little Baba is unicorn system, your little programming line.
Good. That's good. I like that.
The moment that like shit kind of really like something I didn't get, because when you were first talking about it, it was like, yeah, you give your behaviors, you put them the priority, and then you go into the like, what do you want to use as a prerequisite, right? And there's just like a full filter list that's like really exhaustive. Although I found an element not precise enough, interestingly, is that you can't sort by class type. You can only sort by like infantry or flying or like attributes of a class, but you can't specifically say target a Griffin Rider. Right, you can say target.
Flying. It has to be somewhat vague.
Yeah, which would be too
generalized.
It would probably be too strong if you could make it absolutely target that exact element. So I think a little bit of the game is in having you target broader categories for a more optimal generalized strategy. But for the most part, it's still smart enough to know that it's like, hey, if you've got a shield dude and you've got a God, what was the term? Housecarl, which I didn't know that word before. On your side,
also did not know that word before.
Yeah, if you got a Housecarl with you,
then
they're gonna go break that shit open. So no, there's a thing when you're setting all that up where it's like, oh, okay, well, if you don't target the flying, but I still want to make sure that you use your spear to hit like a row of people or whatever, just create another version of the primary attack and then set that priority to target a row of enemies that's full.
Make it higher.
And you're like, oh shit. So you literally, if this, you know, then
you
this,
program these shits.
Else that. So that was a pretty fun aspect to it. When I guess my question is like, when people are comparing this to like the Gambit system, was the Gambit system anywhere near as like in depth?
Oh no, the Gambit system was way more complex.
Oh really? Okay.
The Gambit system was the fantasy of completely automating an entire Final Fantasy game.
Okay. So all their behavior is predetermined.
So 12's Gambit system is what leads to 13's weird system where you weren't really choosing specific attacks. You remember that weird thing? Where it was like, be more defensive. Okay.
At all. Yeah.
Because like, yeah, if you spend enough time in 12, you just you automate. You're spending time in the menu instead of in the in-battle menu. You're just making every decision for yourself ahead of time.
Was any of that changed in the international job change version?
Yes, they gave you a fast forward button.
Okay.
You could hit L1, and it would go, well, this is automated anyway, so we're gonna do it at quadruple speed.
So I guess it's like, if you enjoyed your programming being super tight and then watching it steamroll or just not steamroll or whatever, there's some there's fun to that, to setting up the things up.
Oh yeah, when I was playing 12, right? I didn't beat it, but I got to the part where the game starts to fall apart. And yeah, I had automated the whole party. It was cool.
Okay. Yeah, no, when you do it yourself, like, there's some pride in that. I'm sure that's fun. I can imagine. But it was even more in depth then.
Oh yeah, no, the Gambit system's ridiculous. The Gambit system is the most in-depth party control system in advance I have ever seen. The only thing I can ever think of that even comes close is Dragon Age Origins also did what is essentially a Gambit system.
And was there a easy out for someone who didn't go in depth with that? Like, did they give anybody the ability
pick your commands in the fight?
Okay, just don't
play it normal.
Just play it normal. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I do. I mean, look how hard I got into Yomi Hustle, right? I do have a part of me that loves that set it all up in advance and fucking pre-program it and then let it roll, aspect to it. I guess the thought is, as my army grows, the less I'm getting that granular about it, though, right? In Unicorn Overlord, you get tons of people, you start hiring tons of people, and you get way many units that you're building out their positioning, and each group of 6 is trying to figure out what the optimal positioning is, so placement is. And like at that point there's like a level of like, okay, I'm not going to go into every single one of these hires and give them exactly this with this setup with this exact equipment and stuff. It gets, so I do feel that I'm like, for the major units that I'm have my heroes on, those are the ones I'm paying the most attention to. But like, I can feel that there will be a like, and you guys are kind of good enough. And so far, I haven't hit a challenge yet that's been like, if you don't go in and fine tune this, you're gonna lose. So, yeah, I guess the question is like, what does the late game look like for this, and like, will it require you to get in there and start like putting really optimized?
I mean, that's the question, right? Because I bet it'll ask. I bet you could brute force it with enough like army power, but like there are like multiple orders of management. There's like your army management on the strategic level, then there is the unit management, and then there's like unit as a group of people, and then there is character management, right? you can decide to go all in on the strategy and just go with like normal units, or you can min-max your units, or you can min-max the players inside those units.
You can get as strategic or as tactical as you want so far.
Or you can do all of it, and you probably steamroll the fucking shit out of the game if you do all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're beating it in the menu as opposed to on the field.
Yes. I do also get the feeling as well that like if you kind of just mash your default unit setups into each other and shove them forward, you will overcome most of the fights, but your dudes are going to go down more often, and you kind of have not glory, honor points to fix those mistakes in a way. So like you can use honor for your specials, or you can, use your map abilities, and honor will kind of become the currency of like, yeah, your tactics were not optimized in that fight, but you took over the fort, you garrisoned, here's your honor points, you can chill and fix that back up, or whatever the case is. So it is kind of forgiving on that end too, but but like obviously going in and being more precise about it, like most of the fights so far, because I kind of set him up in advance, have been like, you take 0 damage, you crush the opponent. It's just you're just rolling through. The other bit too is like when it comes to like which accessories to put on any given unit, and it's like you can wear any two, but you just can't wear the same two. And like they're like, okay, fuck. Now if I look at an accessory that tells me that this person, like, if the accessory gives me a certain type of build, then like you can now work that whole unit around the accessory that you're picking up, or a special weapon that has a unique ability, magic attack, or whatever the case is. So it definitely is, as much and as far as you want to zoom in so far, it will let you do that. And I appreciate when a game can like let me go to the amount that I want to, and then if I decide to kind of be like, you know what, I'm good, I'm gonna stop here, it'll be like, okay, that's cool, you can still keep playing. I've often laughed about the insanity of the Disgaea item world inside an item world, and the tangent to the tangent, and the madness of going deeper and deeper before you're like, where the fuck is the overall, like, we're just incepting at this point. But admittedly, if that's all just like, it's not at all mandatory. It's just if you want to fucking get a super sick weapon and make your weapon the strongest, and or find a better weapon inside of the one that you're currently making stronger, but you can kind of just roll with it, and it's like, okay, cool, that's fine ultimately. I'm enjoying that, and probably gonna push a little bit further in. There's stuff this week. Balatro, I've brought it up a couple weeks now. It's firmly got its claws in me. I'm like,
it's inside you.
It's in, and it's because like now that I found like some winning combos, I'm like, trying to, like, there's runs where I'm just like, I'm winning, but I'm not destroying. Let me restart this run. Like
that's okay. I know, like, I know the disease.
Yeah. It's like, you're like,
it's when I fucking play a goddamn run a gungeon and I'm like crushing it, I'm no damage, and I get like the first gun, I'm like, I like this first gun, and I get the second gun, I'm like, I don't like this one, I'm restarting.
Nothing's wrong. I can still make it a couple blinds in.
I can do it, but I want to fucking, just delete the boss in a second.
Yeah, crawling across the finish line or even walking across at a brisk pace is not enough. I need to annihilate it. And the feeling of like when you get your first two jokers are like a fucking combo, that is really good. And so like I had a particular run where so I've beaten it. So far I'd beaten it once, and then I was trying to get another clear with a red deck, and I got my first joker, I think, was Campfire, and that is every time you sell a card, your multiplier goes up. So it goes up by 0.5. So straight up, like not in plus in points, but in like, again, like multiplicatives. So you can just buy a bunch of planet cards, never use them, sell them all. Buy a bunch of jokers, sell them all. And so I started doing that. And then the next joker I got was Blueprint. And that is copies whatever the joker to the right is doing. So that goes together to just create a fucking snowball effect immediately of like, I sold a bunch of random shit. I now have a 3 times multiplier. Oh, this is gonna make it 6. And like that first boss is just like done in one. In one play, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go, right? And then furthermore, because the whole setup is based on selling shit, you buy every joker you see, and if it's a good one, keep it. If it's not good, sell it right away, and just roll again, and there's just no downside. And so yeah, by the end, the final blind, the final boss, it's asking you to like get 100,000 chips, and like I'm playing like 150,000 chips on one hand. Like I think I cleared it at like 270 or so, and I was like, oh, that feels fucking nice. So yeah, the way I'm playing it now is kind of just like give it 2 rounds, maybe 3, to see if I'm like absolutely annihilating with the setup, and if not, then fuck this. Another really good card too as well that like was nice, because I was playing for like flushes for a while, and then I felt like the odds were just bending back against me. And a particular card that's good is a Flower Pot, which lets you get a big multiplier if you submit one of each suit in a given hand. So now it's an anti-flush. It's diversity in your hand is good. If you have one of all 4, it pays off. And again, if you have a Blueprint, which the other thing too is like having multiple jokers, they let you slide and change the order around while they're active, so you can sometimes make you can make like, you're like, no, I don't want it for the, like, put it over here actually in the middle of the match, so you can just go fucking crazy with it. Yeah, that's a really good ass game. So seeing it in the news this week is like, oh yeah, it sold like a million or so, and it's doing extremely successful, and it's really doing well. It's like, yeah, that game's fucking great, man.
Has there been any news on its fucking nonsense gambling classification?
I don't think it matters, because it's just doing well at this point. Like, it's not been delisted or anything, but like, in any way that has lingered. It's coming to mobile. It's selling super well. It got put back up on the store. Whatever that classification shit was, it seems to not matter in the long run, because yeah, whatever the fuck Peggy said, everyone's playing this game. Mm-hmm. And every update I saw, like the last recent updates have had like new languages being added as well. So you go to the language option, and it's like, oh, we're just going international with this thing. Like there's a long tail for it. So,
well, I mean, people fucking know playing cards.
That's it. It's just playing cards. Yeah, it's real simple. That is international.
Maybe these Gen Alphas that don't know how to read don't know how to use a playing card, but
maybe then this is where I'm like, can we get the Steam Workshop to allow like customizing the cards, and is there going to be like an Italian card deck where you can get like Scopa or Briscola 500 cards in there? There's like playing cards that are like Italian specific playing cards, where you can change the suits, and it's a different style of game. Yeah, couple different countries have their own kind of like playing card setup. That'd be fun. But yeah, I would not be surprised to see this, like, again, like after iOS, Android, all things. It's like, is there a screen? You can play this. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix got Balatro running on it. If fucking Samurai Showdown is something they're willing to.
I'm still like legitimately to super confused about that shit. About how anything to do with Netflix works for video.
I played it, so and I'm still confused. I played Netflix Samurai Showdown, and I don't know what happened. It's crazy. It's absolute madness. I don't know why they're trying to stick their toe into the video game thing, but I mean, well, it's obvious why. But it's so weird.
There's money in them their video games,
especially when they're running inferior with options missing and the no ability to play with a controller.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell, wait, what? There's no ability to play that shit with a controller?
Not when I tried. Like,
Fuck off.
maybe maybe it depends on the platform you're on, but fucking Christ, man, it's so weird.
That's a bunch of stupid bullshit.
Anyway, beyond that, I didn't get to go because I've been very busy, but the Red Bull Kumite took place this weekend in New York, and it was the finale. I certainly wanted to go, and there was the finals of everything that I was doing the casting for it. The Canadian qualifiers happened. Shout outs to Mena RD, just killing it with Blanca once again.
Again?
Yep.
Jesus.
Dude's a beast. And what else is new? But the reason why I bring this up and why it's notable and fun is because if anyone has been just curious about the state of thuggery, the Red Bull Kumite was a fun return to thuggery because they had Rob TV as a host and Li Joe were there, and the entire bit for the whole show was, we're gonna be assholes to the loser. As soon as they lose, in kayfabe, pretty much, we're gonna just talk mad shit. As soon, like, from the moment they get up till when they walk off the stage, and then they stand by the stage and they have to hand over their card, and Li Joe will say some wild shit and like rip your card up or toss it in the trash in the dumpster right next to them, and then they shove you in a taxi and get you the fuck out of there. So, that's a particularly fun thuggery update for anyone who's been keeping an eye out. And I think Shinlad FGC on YouTube has a compilation, a thuggery compilation, if you just want to catch all those moments condensed, because it was a full day of Street Fighter. But there's just him and Rob TV, Li Joe, aka Li Jerk, and Rob TV, being assholes, and then cutting back over to the announcing table where Justin Wong, James Chen, and Tasty Steve are just like, why are they being so mean?
Because it's fun. This is fun sometimes.
Oh man, yeah. Big Bird got it so rough.
How rough we talking here?
Because Big Bird like got up and got walked over to the dumpster, to the trash thing, and then usually they all throw it in. They have to. Li Joe takes your thing and throws it in the garbage. And for Big Bird, he's like, you know what? Actually, here, take this back, take it back home with you, and give it to the better bird. Because Angry Bird is watching at home. Dude's just like, oh, come on, and the part too is that, like, while this is all, again, there's kayfabe to the fun of what's happening, there's definitely that, like, they did just lose and it feels bad. And there's, like, especially at that, like, there is that, like, oh god fucking damn it, in a 1-to-5. And, like, there's a real, like, inside at that point, It's a bit of that, like,
the salt on your wounds will make you strong.
Sure. There's a good reason why, they pretty much have stopped with the post-fight interviews in, like, UFC and stuff, because it's like, hey, let's not hold a microphone to someone who might be suffering a concussion right now. Maybe that's not the best idea.
Hey, can you talk? Pancakes.
Thank you so much. Cool. All right, moving on. Back to you. Yeah, don't do that. But, like,
do that.
But, like, not every player that stands up after that match is, like, kind of smiling, like, you got me. Some of them standing there were, like, stone-faced, like, fuck.
I think that if you lose, you should be pelted with tomatoes from the crowd.
Sure. Well, here's the next closest thing is Li Joe's gonna go off screen and get a pair of scissors and cut your picture up in your face and sprinkle the ashes into the trash.
That's good. I like that.
So yeah, that was
like you're being erased from history.
It was. It really was. And then they write you down and cross your name out on the thing in marker on the big board.
Oh man, I just saw somebody in the chat say put them in a pillory. That'd be great.
I mean,
top 32, everyone that loses has to get into the stocks next to the finals.
Look, we have to escalate the brand somehow, and Red Bull Kumite is taking a bold step. Right, they're embracing the thuggery that we've abandoned.
That's great.
So yeah.
Did you see those league players got like fined a bunch of money for like wearing the wrong kind of shoes
for
or
the Crocs?
something?
They wore Crocs and they got fined for wearing Crocs.
It's
See?
like,
See? That's the problem.
2x KO, you're not ready for this.
That's what happens when you go too far in the fucking other direction, right?
You're not ready for this.
You need these types of moments like Kumite, like salt in the wound, to remember your roots, to remember where the fuck you came from, so that you don't have that where you get fined for wearing the wrong shoes to your esports event. Fuck off with that, man. Ugh. Yeah, that's
the usual like rules for FGC events are like convenience store rules, like shirt, shoes, pants.
Yeah.
Right? Like wear a shirt, please.
Okay, wear a shirt. However, you are allowed to rip the shirt off for a particular about 5-minute period. Like, let's say
you have to put another shirt back on at some point, but
if you're Punko, you can pull it off for a match.
yeah.
That's okay. You're allowed to get real for if you're playing a high-stakes Marvel match, you're allowed to rip your shirt off. That's okay, but you have to put it back on afterwards. So there's a timer that starts from the moment the shirt is removed.
I mean, the FGC is the place that eventually filtered down its nonsense to the point where I'm watching Justin Wang do a deep dive on what it means to get that gamer leg. And I'm like, I know that fucking leg. And so enough, he does the deep enough dive. He goes, this is Marn's leg.
Oh.
When Marn had that fucked up leg.
Oh. Okay.
That looked like the plague.
Gamer leg. Yeah. Well,
get you a picture to remind you.
For a second I was wondering what you meant by gamer leg, but yeah, the Marn leg was a bit.
It was. He went to a tournament with this gamer leg. Here you go.
Oh, Jesus! Fuck! Why would you take a photo, man? Why would you show? Oh, God.
It looks like the plague.
Yeah, I'm not putting that in.
Hey, Ryan, are you gonna find Marn for having gamer leg?
If you want to look that up, you can, but we're not gonna assault our audience like that. No, I'm not showing the stream. Fuck you. That might be TOS.
That's definitely against the TOS.
That's super close to fucking. I'm not. No.
He had some kind of vascular thing. I think he got better.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah. So Kumite was fun for that. Oh man, I'm feeling itchy now.
Yeah,
dude.
I bet you're feeling itchy. It's not good to see. It's bad to look at.
Why is my back suddenly scratching?
Here, dude, I'll do you a favor. I will delete this. Here, I'm deleting it. It's deleted now.
Oh God, I feel itchy. Okay.
It's like when you see fucking like spiders crawling on stuff, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, what if I'm covered in spiders?
what if they? Oh, what is that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. And anyway, we had the return of the slop this year as well. The slop stream is back, and that was a fun one in particular. Had
a good moment of that, Wooly, where pre-slop, I was looking around. I'm like, this man has lost his fucking mind. Did he gentrify slop streaming with a form? Oh my God.
Oh, we've been running the form for a while. This is the new and improved version. This is form 2.0.
No, I mean like the Google thing. The Google.
Yeah, that's not new.
Oh man.
That's not new. So to simplify the process, because, and again, shout outs to everyone that's been vetting and such, and Asna's been killing it with this. There's a setup for the form is so that people on Twitter can easily submit, and then it can be all pulled and vetted in a simplified manner, because if people just reply to a long tweet, it's a mess. It's a fucking mess, and it's impossible to track, and duplicates are hard to track as well. Once you have something that's in an Excel sheet that's nice and organized, we can do all kinds of organization to make sure that it's, you know, 1, safe to watch, 2, worth it, 3, again, not duplicated, and especially if people are submitting multiple things and stuff. So it just simplifies the process massively, right?
So so at the end of the day, when you're sitting down, like, is it like kind of an automated thing, or are you still like pushing them into a playlist?
So what's actually, it's not a, so what's happening is that form is for people that submit on Twitter, and then there's a Reddit thread where people can post in the Reddit. And just reply there, and then shout out to Meadow, who made a tool to rip all those into an Excel sheet as well. And so there's 2 different lists, right, and sorted by upvotes on the Reddit side. So those 2 lists then go into the respective columns of Team Blue and Team Red.
Right.
And there's a vetting process. That
but do you vet it? No, obviously.
No, I don't vet it. There's a couple folks we got on it. So Captain Piledriver, Solidus, Manita, Scudnate, Dad Asuna. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but I think that's the crew. Thank you guys.
Do they put it into the playlist for you, or do you just copy paste it?
And then they put it in the Excel sheet on each side,
okay.
And then I go down the Excel sheet, I got on the Excel sheet on each side.
So you're saying that like me and Paige are 1 degree of separation away from just putting whatever we want into that Excel sheet.
I mean, you already have.
Yeah.
It has. Submissions in the past have made it, and there's a notes section that says submitted by Paige, for example. And I was like,
but we could just not put that part. We could just be like, hey, Dad Asuna, can you submit this as yourself?
Okay, right. Well. Now I guess we'll have to have a little fucking round table meeting with my people. Security meeting immediately following the podcast. All hands on deck.
That's the good part. It's like, are they loyal to you or are they loyal to laughing? Speaking of, bro. Why'd they kidnap that grandpa and draw a marker on his head and make him say all that shit?
So that's the bit, right? I'm familiar. I've seen Dracula Flow. Shout outs to Billy, Sir Meow, for introducing that, because he brought it out it was at a party. Boo, I think, started playing it actually. We were like, oh, we're doing the YouTube bit? Okay, what's up? And then like it was incredible. Dracula Flow is the fucking greatest. But Reggie hadn't seen it. So it was new to Reggie, and like I'm like, okay, we're fucking doing it. All 4. Man, God, Filthy Frank, dude. Just to have the power to rebrand yourself as Joji to become a fucking pop star type, like that brilliance is also what is needed to write that kind of script. And it's so funny because Dracula Flow is like, it's like peak. Right, it's one of those things where like, oh, we're gonna be quoting this for years. This is gonna be this is like Simpsons level quotable shit, unbelievably hilarious for the next decade. But when it misses, oh my God, does it miss?
It sure does.
It seems to be entirely based on whether or not you are familiar with the idea of, I guess, just like hood talk. Like, are you familiar? Like, if you have any semblance whatsoever of like how people get braggadocious in the hood, right?
Yeah, of course.
Then you fucking know that this is the most hilarious, insane shit, because he's sprinkling real things with absurdities, and it's the best. But if you have zero inkling whatsoever of what that style of talking even is, then it just goes 1,000,000% over your head, and you're like, I don't get it. Why is this funny? It's random shit. Like, yeah, we can't help you. You needed the groundwork here. I don't know what else to say. But if you do know, then you, if you do know what it is, then when he comes in and goes, I took a DNA test, it turns out I'm 100% Himalayan because I'm him. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's the best. Dracula Flows. You're seeing the Giuliani fucking like ink sweating down the head.
Oh, it's so like it's the.
It gets grimier over time, you know? You're seeing the reflection of the screen that he's reading off of in the glasses. The occasional room just cracking up and then panning down to the cup full of watches and the rings and shit. Dracula Flow. Fuck, dude. Like, and then the fact that part 4 is 10 minutes long. You know, it's nuts. It's so good. And like the power of good comedy is like you're doing the same bit, right? He's like, you know, I don't give
He's
a
Rodney
fuck,
Dangerfielding.
right? Yeah, he's running the same bit, so you have to mix it up every once in a while to keep it fresh. So yeah, you just said this long, insane paragraph. Again, it's summoning the power of Rich Homie Quan, right? It's bringing that, like, he's going on this long rant, and then the next clip right after that is just as simple as, I'm making too much money. It's so simple, so pure. So yeah, and we ended stream after that. I'm like, I'm annihilated. I can't watch that shit and survive to continue the slop. We are going to yes, slop stream, Wooly versus whatever coming your way. That shit's gonna be isolated as a good bit, and just I feel as well too, a little bit of the theming has, last time around we watched, I don't know if you did you ever see the King K. Rool musical music video?
No.
By any chance? Okay, there's this really great music video where they got the voice actor from Donkey Kong Country cartoon to sing in a very be prepared Lion King-esque King K. Rool musical moment for the Disney Donkey Kong Country movie that doesn't exist yet. But it was so well done, and like it went over really, really well. So I think a lot of people kind of saw that and were like, "Oh, let's submit a lot of music videos." So we ended up watching a bunch of music videos as well, and they're all great, really cool, like animations by super talented people and great music from you know, and stuff. But like I feel like we're now getting like tilted heavily in an asymmetrical way towards that, and it shouldn't be all that, because it's also like, damn, there wasn't a whole lot of slop in this slop stream. There's a lot of quality shit actually. And then we watched I think it was like Red versus Blue season 8, and it was a scene where basically Monty just signed on.
Was it Tex whooping everyone's ass?
The
Black Halo.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Tex.
Okay. So that was it. It was like, okay, right. This is, I don't know, is that where Monty like joined the team, or
we're not 100% certain.
But like it was clear that like it's like, yeah, that's what we got going on here. And like it's funny to see some of that action where you're like, oh god, I remember similar moves like that exact style of like getting knocked away and then catching up to the body in midair and knocking it down, that was in Dead Fantasy and Haloid and stuff. And I assume carries on to Ruby as well. But yeah, that was a fun little flashback. I wonder whatever happened to that company. Anyway,
I'm sure they're doing fine.
Yeah, so that was all pretty much the week we had. So yeah, tune in over on Wooly Versus. We're gonna be this week jumping back in. We didn't get to finish off Half-Life, so we're gonna see if we can do that this week.
Okay, so when you say that, to me that says you're like damn near at the finish line.
You know what? I don't know. Last time I thought I was, it turned out I wasn't. So we'll see what happens. But we're gonna be we didn't get to do a Half-Life session, so I'm gonna come back to that. We are still working our way through the Cabaret Club in the Yakuza 0 as well, so that's coming too. As aforementioned, Dragon's Dogma 2 will be on Saturday, and this week as well might jump into a little Helldivers 2.
Helldivers?
Yeah. And you gonna jump in there, buddy?
Well, I mean, considering I was like, hey, are you playing fucking Helldivers like a week ago? And you're like, I don't know. Am I playing Helldivers? You said to me, I'll drop in when the mechs are there. I'm like, they're there yesterday.
They're there yesterday. Yeah, like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit, the mechs are out. Okay.
So we just been pushing days and whatnot. But yeah, absolutely, I will join you for Helldivers.
All right, we're going to do Helldivers on
Wednesday. I will also be streaming Helldivers with Wooly Versus over from twitch.tv/Wooly Versus. What time do you want to do that?
I start my streams at 3 Eastern, but...
So what is that for me? That's noon? Yeah, I can do that.
For noon? Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
that's not a problem.
Okay. I want a robot. What
Oh,
is the
you're not gonna get one.
What's the time to robot?
Why?
Oh.
Hey, I haven't checked in a bit. What level you got to be to get robot, guys? I think 25. Yeah, dude, I'm like level fucking 14.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, can someone else?
Can't summon. You know what I can do? You know what I can do? I have friends who are.
Can
freaks.
someone call
So
a robot that I can jump into?
I will. I will check with a. I will check with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And
Okay. I want to get into a shitty Titan. I want to feel the power.
so they patched it so it doesn't blow itself up anymore.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn. Like I wanted to get the welcome back pilot. Oh god, I'm sorry. Oh no. BT more like BS. Anyway. All right. Yeah, so that's going to be the week. Tune in, should be fun. What's going on?
Oh. Well, it was my wedding anniversary on Sunday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Still love my wife. She's great.
I saw the uncropped art of the excuse me, the uncropped photo.
You know what's really great about posting a photo of you smooching your wife and it's kind of cropped and then somebody draws a fucking hilarious edit.
You mean somebody somebody pulls the frame back?
Yeah,
and,
whatever.
And
of your wife kneeling and you're on a little stool because you're a small man. What's funny is that you and your wife retweet it because like, oh man, that's really funny. And then check this morning only to see that you helped them ratio your ass.
That's nice. That's great.
I'm not that small. I'm only the smallest. I don't know if you saw the chart. I'm pretty small, but so love my wife. Gonna be together forever. Have baby now. Baby great. Amazing. Let's move on. Yeah, Paige wants me to ask people about this because we had like a discussion the other day and it just completely stalled out due to a complete lack of like no Venn diagram touching, in which we went and ate some burritos. And I was like, I really didn't like those burritos. And she's like, why didn't you like the burritos? And I said, well, I like the burritos from the other place because they taste red. And she said, what the fuck does that mean, taste red? I'm like, well, the burritos at the place that I like taste red, but the burritos at the place that I didn't like taste white. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, I'm being told that she did not ask me. I'm bringing it up.
I get it.
You get it, right?
I get it.
And I'm like, honey, it's like when you drink a Gatorade, and it doesn't taste like blueberries, and it doesn't taste like, whatever. It tastes like blue, right? And like, yeah, no. And she's like, what does a blueberry taste like? I'm like, it tastes like a blueberry. I don't need to define it by a non-specific vague color. It tastes like a very specific blueberry. But like this, I like things can taste green and red and yellow and white.
Okay, I can't speak for the extended chart that you're getting into, but the initial premise of a burrito that tastes red or a burrito that tastes white makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Because the reasons why souvlaki and ahiro are my favorite food is because
they taste white.
They taste white. And
yeah, 100%.
Yes, I love that. And things that taste white, I love. I'm a huge fan of that creamy kind of thing over the more salsa kind of, or like pasta sauce kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah. There's stuff that's more tomatoes in the sauce are the basis of what you're getting. Anything that uses tomatoes as the basis of the sauce, whether it's a salsa or a ragu or anything like that, is going to be more red tasting for sure. And anything that's more sour cream based as the sauce or cheese or so based is going to be more white tasting.
Yeah, exactly.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And I think it tastes better.
It's so obvious. So obvious I couldn't explain.
Yeah, no, there's
This was not the outcome.
no bit. There's no bit here. I get it completely. You're correct. Yeah.
This rules. Oh.
Oh no! What are we gonna do with the 10-minute block of time that was scheduled for the fight that was supposed to happen?
About this, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I don't like fire alarms. Do you like fire alarms?
Oh God, yeah, no bit. It's great. I'll do red and white.
What else? I've been working on something for a video this week that I can't talk about. Yeah, I had a pretty slow week. Just enjoying being a dad and a husband. It's good stuff.
Family.
Cool. If you want to see me play Helldivers with Wooly on Wednesday, you can go to either twitch.tv/PatStaresAt or twitch.tv/WoolyVersus. And then let's see what I actually, before I say anything, let me very carefully check what I literally wrote down on my schedule for this week. I used very specific wording here. Okay, so on Wednesday, no, what is it? March 21st? Was that Thursday? Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, I'm streaming a secret thing that I can't tell you about and will announce 1 hour before the stream. It could be anything at all. It could be anything at all.
What could it
And then on
be?
Friday and Saturday, I'll play a bunch of Dragon's Dogma 2. But that Thursday one could be anything. That's over twitch.tv/PatStaresAt.
Nice. It's Soldner X, isn't it?
Pardon?
It's Soldner X that you're going to be streaming.
You know, I'm kind of annoyed that I can remember the name that you're saying to me, but I can't remember if I've even seen it. I remember reading it.
This goofy ass play Asia shmup from back in the day.
I'm gonna be super pissed off if I'm gonna look up footage and if like, do I see it? Do I know? I don't know what the fuck.
It's the one that's gonna make you long for Einhander because it's not Einhander. That's what it is.
No, that's a lot. Actually.
You're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, oh, I miss Einhander. There's a very particular way that the little police ships kind of fly into the screen that was so sick back in the day. Anyway.
Why did we never get more Einhander? It's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one that could blow the dust off of that they never did.
Like the most recent acknowledgement of Square Enix of Einhander was in 2015 with the goddamn what was it called? The fucking Crystal Lake dungeon in FF14 in patch 2.55 where there was one boss
14 has an Einhander reference.
It sure does. And it's old. It's old now.
Wow. Okay. That's nuts. Huh. Kingdom Hearts
Keeper
3?
of the Lake. That's the name of the fucking dungeon.
Oh, okay.
Here, I will send you a photo.
People are saying Kingdom Hearts 3.
Really? Really?
Wow. That's crazy.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is a fucking Einhander?
That's cool. Okay. See, if you know what Einhander is, you will know it as that fun shmup that Square put out back in the day on PlayStation. But if you don't know what Einhander is, you will know it as the game that your eyes thought was FF7 when looking at the rental wall because the cover was bright white and it had a font in the place that you're like, is that FF7? You're like, no, that's another game. But it had a very similar feel.
Got a point, you know.
It had a feel. When you're looking at a rental wall, Einhander felt like FF7. That's a very particular feeling you had to be walking through a video store in the late '90s to hit. But if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you know what? I do have a bit of a life story. So the weather's nice enough that we can bring our little man around in a stroller, which is fucking adorable. And every now and then I walk the dog simultaneously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking my ugly dog who's really friendly, and I'm pushing my tiny little baby who's super cute. And you do the hey to people on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and people that look at you and then look at the baby and then look at the dog and don't smile once, monsters. Like,
it's a check.
right? Like they don't the fucking the crook of their fucking mouth doesn't go up once at a hello. It doesn't go up once at a cute baby, and it doesn't go up once at a cute dog. Like there's something fucking wrong with you.
Okay. Roll of the dice. I follow along. They might be having a terrible day. To be fair.
Well, wouldn't you just want to see an adorable little baby and dog? Oh my God, look at them. They're so cute.
That probably would be what you would want to help change that up. Yes, that is true. But yeah.
It's like just this great feeling of like, oh man, this judgment feels really good. I can just put it out there and it's correct.
Partial to the cows running outside for the first time after being inside all winter. Punch Bomb is super into that, and just like cows experiencing summer for the first time after a long hard winter inside, and they're just trying to express joy with their bodies and don't know how, and it's like, yeah, that'll do it. Or those there's an Instagram channel, or there's an Instagram page that has like someone that plays guitar and has like a dog that's in like a field of flowers, and it's literally just like fucking postcard FMV type insane shit. Yeah. Anyway, but you never know. But yeah, I understand the judgment. I understand where the smug is coming from. Cool. All right. Let's take a quick break, and
let's take a quick break.
Get back with
I gotta pee anyway.
BRB.
Bye for now.
right. Let's.
I have a baby update.
Oh. Okay.
Sometimes when you go to kiss the baby looks at you and you go, "Give me a kiss," and they go, "Ah," and they turn away and they bury their head into mom's shoulder and they're laughing and smiling because they're so happy they can't even look at you. And then you kiss them on the top of their head and they're like, it's great. It fucking kicks ass. It's a baby update of
baby update. Baby update. Update. Can we talk about the city of the Worves?
Okay. So the audio listeners, you didn't see, but I like shakingly held up my hand as like a open palm and then touched it to my face. So earlier today, I watched a trailer for Fatal Fury, City of the Worves. And I went, oh man, it's City of the Worves. And Paige went, what? And I went, Worves. And just completely refused to explain myself at all.
That's correct.
And I felt like a deep, deep joy.
This is good. This is pure. There are a few pure things left. This is one of them. Garou, City of the Worves, has revealed itself finally at long last. We got the announcement trailer. We got a first 2 screenshots, and we got a little bit of teasing here and there, but we got to see finally some gameplay and some characters and a whole bunch of shit. So it's fucking Garou lore discussion time. If you thought for a second you were coming into this podcast not talking about the state...
Not going to talk about Worves.
The state of Garou Densetsu, then too fucking bad. Because here's what's going on. We got to see the announcement where they just kind of showed off a couple of the characters. And then, the full... And then the systems as well. So gameplay-wise, it seems as if they've got not like kind of like how Street Fighter 6 has the has the drive system. They've got the rev system now, and there's going to be rev blocking and rev accel. So and it looks like you can just do EX moves into each other, and it seems like you can kind of just
crazy
as long as you have the meter for it, you can do a rising tackle diagonally and now into a power dunk at the end if you've got the bar. So just go, right? Mark of the Wolves has always been like, one of the most solid and fun of the SNK games. But like to keep up with the kids, to come back to this day and age, you're gonna have to, make things a little more exciting. So I'm not surprised to see them take a crack at that and add something that's a little more like spectacle oriented, considering how kind of tame it could be.
Oh, hey, I'm being informed by people in the chat as of a couple hours ago. Justin Wong put up 40 minutes.
Oh, he got matches going. Damn. Okay,
just a bunch of matches. Just 40 minutes
right
of matches.
Now. Oh shit. Okay. So, we got to see the style of the game visually, which I was wondering.
Looks great.
It looks great. It looks really nice, and there's a nice stylish pop art effect that goes off whenever they do one of their specials.
You know what it looks like? It looks like what Marvel Infinite should look like.
Right. Marvel 3 style with the comic book pop. Yes, 100%. I super agree. When you saw that effect, I mean, to be fair to Marvel, like that they had a lot of the effect of when you saw Wolverine doing Berserker Barrage in the original. He's slicing through the panel of the comic, right? Like it looks like a really distinct effect. And then even Ultimate, they didn't really carry that effect forward aggressively. Like they did a bit of that on launch, but it wasn't like huge identity of the game. What you're seeing here in City of the Wolves looks really like aggressive with that style, but the rest of it is also fairly just like, it just looks sharp. It looks tame, looks pretty good. The backgrounds look detailed. I was wondering if they would go for something really bold, but I also know that like SNK is probably not in a position to get too expensive an art choice with these games, right? Like
So
the KOF and Samurai Showdown visual style is showing you the range that they have.
So maybe I'm like a stupid asshole. So like, let's all just sit and believe that for a second. It's possible. Okay.
Done.
Um, I look at I look at Mark of the Wharves. I look at City of the Wharves,
Correct.
and I look at what I feel like KOF 14 should have looked like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure, for sure. The problem
Like
was
this is the
yeah.
first of all the 3D SNK games where I'm going like, yeah, okay.
Well, because KOF 14 was the first of the 3D SNK games that was like, hey, we can't do the sprites anymore. Time to start this route. I guess we're going to start our baby steps as the Simple 2000, Andy
Mm-hmm.
Bogard, and we'll take our steps from there. Um, I mean, I'll always remember I was at the presentation for when they were revealing Sam's show, and they just had a screenshot of Nakaruru in KOF 14 versus in Sam's show, and it looked unbelievably bad next to the that version. It was so like much worse, you know. So they've stepped it up quite a bit, and here stepping it up again, it just looks like a pretty good 3D representation of these characters. Um, there's that little again that hope that you're gonna get like a really crazy new style of like 3D or something that's going to happen in a way is going to be expressed in the way that the flash occurs when you do supers, when you do specials, a lot of that extra stuff. But it looks good. Um, we're seeing Rock Howard, Terry Bogard, Tizok the Griffin, Hotaru Futaba, and Preacha. So Preacha is interesting because Preacha appears to be the student of Joe Higashi doing a bunch of Muay Thai. However, if you are an eagle-eyed lore follower, lore enjoyer, you might remember when Mark of the Wolves 2, the original sprite-based game, first had its details leaked, and like some of that stuff was found on an old disc from the ancient coffers of SNK that shut down. They had sprites of characters that were supposed to be new, one of which was for a character named Kwan. Kwan was a Joe Higashi student, and she
Mm-hmm.
had orange pants and like a white top and a Muay Thai stance. And you saw standing next to her Joe Higashi with bandaged up arm and like a crutch. So,
Yeah,
uh,
because Joe, strangely, despite being like a major character in Fatal Fury, just didn't get one of his disciples out forward into Garo.
there was no Muay Thai representative. So you see then, yeah, this character in some of the sprites, and there's also concept art for a Muay Thai girl that has Joe Higashi bandaged up next to her, and like some of it ranges from him just being like in a sling, but there's one where Joe is like in mummy wraps, like his whole body has been fucked up, like super duper bad, and he's just like barely able to move, but he's like, "Go fight on my behalf." Type of
That's the
thing.
move that put me in the hospital.
There you go. So Quan, it seems like they took Quan's design and updated it. They kept the same color scheme and redesigned it to be Preacha, who's got like glasses and blue and pink hair, and overall a bunch of Joe Higashi ass hurricane Muay Thai style moves. So that seems cool. Um, the other bit is looking at some of what you're seeing Terry and well, okay, Griffin, right? Tizok, you're seeing him do everything you'd expect. His lunge and
So
grab goes a little bit further, but now his like super that does like multiple hits has like different styles of punches and lariats to it.
there's something in this footage that I saw during Tzok matches that I'm absolutely in love with. It is such a specific fighting game ism, like fighting game idiosyncrasy that maybe some people don't care about, but it made me laugh really hard. So, T-Sock in his old move, Big Ball, he would grab you off the floor with one hand and he would smash you into the
Big fall.
ceiling. But it wasn't it wasn't the wait, it was fall?
I'm pretty sure it's Big Fall.
I thought it was Big Ball. Whatever. Anyway,
Big Fall.
that makes way more sense. Anyway, so he smashes you into the ceiling, but the ceiling isn't really the ceiling. It's the edge of your TV, right?
Yeah.
Because this doesn't actually have a top to it. When you see him do the move now, they use the 3D camera.
Yeah.
And he grabs you by the neck and does the speed lines and slams you into nothing.
Into nothing.
Into nothing.
Yeah.
On like there's no ceiling, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's where the top of the screen would be, but he slams you into nothing at all before finishing the move. And I saw one with Rock. Rock can does a super and Terry bounces off the edge of the stage, but he's bouncing off of nothing.
The camera rotates to show you the stage wall that is nothing. Yes, correct.
And it's hilarious. It's so funny.
The rules of fighting games still apply, even though we can rotate the camera to angles you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. Yeah, no.
It's great. It's fucking great.
You're seeing exactly that. I always also interpreted that when you're getting like Izuna dropped by T-Zoc, that like the speed lines are meant to convey that you're flying super high into the air and then super far back down to the earth.
It's also to like trick you in the fact that like T-Zoc is actually moving across the screen at an incredibly slow pace.
At an incredibly slow, ridiculously slow. Also,
speed lines are crazy. You can do all sorts of crazy shit with speed lines.
Important too. Not the king of dinosaurs. T-Zoc the Griffin.
No, he's back to T-Zoc.
I mean, he always was. The king of dinosaurs.
Well, he's not the Griffin.
The king of dinosaurs, whoever that might be,
whoever that was,
remains in the world of the king of fighters. But in Fatal Fury, we've got T-Zoc, and that's like a fun little bit too, because if you think about Raiden and Big Bear back in the day, it's a similar kind of like mask on, mask off kind of kayfabe bit. That's one of the things they showed off. We see a couple of other things that Rock and Terry are pretty much doing the moves you recognize, except now rising tackle going diagonal. Suddenly it makes sense and is suddenly it's actually has a utility that can function properly, even though the actual physics of what he's doing remains the dumbest anti-air I've ever seen.
Well, Wooly, we've had like a lot of discussions over the years. And like, I remember so many times the argument came up of like, rising tackle is like the worst move from like a concept point of view. Like one arm out, upside down,
one leg up.
Oh my
spinning.
God.
Just
it's so awful.
Because it screams, we're not doing a Shoryuken, shut up. We're doing our own thing. This is not a rising uppercut. It's its own thing. Shut up though. Don't sue us. Fuck you. Like it screams. You can't sue us. It screams, there's nothing remotely resembling a tackle about it, for the record. So that's all there. But interesting, at the end of the trailer, we see a moment where Rock's like, this was for you, Terry. Power geyser, right? And does an actual fucking Terry move. You're like, oh shit, that's cool. That's interesting, because Terry's Rock's moveset has always been a take on Geese Howard's moves and a fusion of Terry Bogard's moves together. So, he's got a rising tackle. He's got his own crack shoot version of the kick, but then he's got a Rapuken, and he's got the counters and the deadly rave, obviously. So a lot of that is there. But now the question, I suppose, is what are the lore implications? Because anyone who might remember Mark of the Wolves, the story, if you unlock the true ending with Rock Howard, he beats Kane, and he's about to beat his ass and be done with him. But then Kane reveals that I still know, your mother's still alive, and I know where she is. And then Rock's like,
Oh my God.
and then so Terry comes out later and is like, yo, Rock, what's going on? Where you going? And he's like, Terry, leave me alone. And then he partners up with Kane, and he basically gets blackmailed into being a bad guy. So are they going to follow up on this? Are we going to continue? And Terry's like, hey, I trust you, whatever the case may be. But, Rock getting forced to the dark side was the cliffhanger that we left out on, So, yeah, are we going to see that continue? Or is that going to play a role at all in what's going forward in time? And is he doing a power geyser out of just like, hey, I won't forget? One thing's for sure, Terry Bogard does a Buster Wolf, and it looks like shit.
It looks so bad.
That Buster Wolf looks terrible, man. Come on.
So like,
it's flaccid. It's the best move Terry's ever had, and they made it look weak. Come on.
It's really funny because there were always different parts of the Buster Wolf animation, and like part of him yelling out the absolute nonsense, "Are you okay?
Are you okay?"
is complete.
Boom.
Like it's part of it, right?
Buster
but there are always two parts to the Buster Wolf. There's the hit with his fist, and then what looked like the explosion that came off like behind him and like did the follow-up hit on the opponent.
Yeah.
And what they decided to focus on in City of the Worves is the individual strikes of the explosion hitting them instead of the gigantic huge fist.
Boom! The fucking right? And then they got that in KOF 15 as well. They like, everyone understands the idea of like the impact of why this works and the explosion of the final hit and the positioning. Smash Brothers, you know what I mean? Like, you get it. It's such a sick move. It's iconic. God damn it.
Smash Brothers gets it, man.
Well, it's like fucking up the Shin Shoryuken, right? You're like, you know that the Horf is what matters here. Don't fuck up
the Horf.
It's all about the Horf.
So by the way, we've said this before. Sometimes people don't know what we mean by the Horf. The Horf is that noise you make when somebody sucker punches you in the stomach and you're trying not to throw up.
it's the air leaving your body as you get crumpled over for the first hit of Shin Shoryuken, and then the rhythm of the butt, shit, like it's that's great. So Buster Wolf looking flaccid here. That's my only downside on the trailer. I hope that we hope we do something about that shit, man.
I also hope this.
Beyond that, though, Hotaru as well, still looking like Hotaru. Guess what? She's gonna hump you.
Hotaru.
She's gonna hope your gato. She's gonna mount you.
Exactly the same.
Zero change. Which is nothing. Yeah.
A little odd.
To be fair, everyone else does as well. Like, it's like no time has passed whatsoever. This might be taking place just like, seconds after the first game ends, really.
Yeah, 10 minutes later. He told Kane, yeah, okay, and then he shot him, and then we're done.
But that's the initial reveal. If they're gonna follow suit at all with the sprites that we saw from that leak, it would be cool to get like all the returning characters there. But there was a sprite as well of Andy Bogard who like hadn't been seen in a minute since Hokutomaru replaced him. But I'm really hoping that we
love
get
Andy. Andy's great.
Well, what would be really sick here is if we get like obviously the twins, right? And like what the whole Kim family is up to, because now we know that you've got Kim, you've got Donghwan and Jaehoon, and then you've got Kim Soo-il, the cousin, you've got Gang Il, the teacher, and then his wife with the big sits. There's a whole family of justice taekwondo.
There's a lot going on with those Koreans.
And you know what?
A lot.
Throw in Choi and Chang in there too, right? They're criminals, but for Freddy Krueger.
I like those guys.
Yeah, Choi and Chang are cool. The extended
They should put them in because I like them.
the Cap1 universe, right? So I want to see the full extent of that for sure. Similarly, Kushnud Butt, Marco Rodriguez, seeing what he's up to, if he's going to be the only Kyokugen representative, or if we're going to get someone else from, the maybe Mr. Karate in the form of old Rio, since that's what he becomes in the future. Kevin fucking Ryan.
No, Kevin died
crawling on the ground. Yeah, well,
it's kind of a shame, dude, but Kevin did die.
If they fast forwarded in time, we would be able to get grown up Marky, the little kid that he hung out with. But like, it seems as if we're probably not gonna, because it takes place too soon. And then yes, Freeman, aka not Iori, as well, has always been a favorite. I mean, Freeman is sick though. I've always liked his.
What do you even do with like not Freeman? Like,
what?
What would you even do with not Freeman? Right? Like, what the fuck would Freeman's disciple possibly look like?
Oh, yeah, just some weirdo. You know what they would do? They would pull an Aki. They'd go like, it's a psycho killer, but this time it's a girl.
Yeah, they would.
That's the move, right? And then, yes, of course, like, the most popular breakout character from that game, fucking B. Jennett, right? There's no question she's coming back.
She, like, escaped so hard compared to the others.
Not at all. Did you see how fucking sick that pirate girl design is? It's incredible. She's one of the best pirate girl designs of all time. There's no mystery whatsoever. Like, she escaped terminal velocity on planet Garo and made her way out. Everyone loves B. Jenny. So, yeah, and similarly, no one likes Hokutomaru. It's the exact opposite. He's stuck in that world forever.
I don't care for him.
So we'll see. I hope we also get there was another original character that looked kind of like a newsy kid. It was like a kid that was wearing one of them kind of newsy caps and like had a little vest and stuff with white hair. Don't know what his deal was, but it was kind of a fun design. So I hope we get to revitalize some of those original leaked characters too. But ultimately, yeah, fucking City of the Worves coming out 2025.
City of the Worves, man. Those Worves are ready to hunt.
My gameplay wise, I remember one of the things I was wondering is like, okay, they'd have to fix the top system and make Just Defend maybe a little bit less rewarding, because there's a couple things about the game more in depth that were like, okay, there's something called Just Defend where it's like a parry in Third Strike, except instead of pressing forward at the last second before you get hit, you press back, right? So you could do something like Evo Moment 37, but it's way easier or it's less risky because you're pressing a block instead of towards your opponent. And each time you could successfully do it, you literally heal a sliver of life up. So
I always liked Just Defend.
It's so rewarding. It's so good, So yeah, for a healing ability, it's gotta be a bit harder, I think, or cost something. Maybe only during top mode. Top mode was you'd pick 1/3 of your life bar, and during that, your character would flash. You would get access to a new move. And that was kind of like you'd in some cases that move was amazing. In some cases it was terrible and you'd never land it. Rock Howard's was big and slow, and it was a really slow version of the crack shoot kick. But in any case, I'm fully expecting to see some like KOF 15 style. You spend your meter to do like 3 EXs into one big final level 1, or maybe like 2 EXs into a level 2 or something like that, and these maximum damage combos that'll do a big fuck ton for all your resources. But I guess we'll have to get a better look if Justin Wong's got a bunch of footage now as well.
I was taking a look at a bunch of it. There's tons. There's tons of. It's real match footage. It's not like. Sometimes you get the danger of, like, I remember when IGN put out Dragon's Dogma 2 footage, and you're like, I would rather be watching fucking nothing than this fucking garbage.
The number one feature that has to fucking return of everything, though, unique to this game, is the second after you KO somebody, there's like 2 seconds of movement where you can walk around and do anything, you can taunt them. But only during that 2 seconds of post hit KO, there's 2 unique taunts you can do, holding back and taunt or forward and taunt, that are
And they're the best.
Yeah, they're totally like talking mad shit, but you can only do them right after you win in that little moment. You know, like Dong Hwan would like lean down and talk shit to you. You know, like it's great.
For me, it's T-Zoc doing the German
bridge,
headbutting the ground,
GTO style. Yeah. And then immediately afterwards with Dong Hwan, like he's talking shit, and then Kim Kapan lands behind him. Oh yeah. I want that. I want the ability to like prime up the wings win pose with Rock Howard, you know? Super cool. So yeah, really hoping that the flow of that ends up being, it looks like it's again like Garo style, but with KOF 15 levels of like, I guess, combo extensions happening. So should be great. Just drop a nice roster on that of all the faves and some of the new ones we saw. And yeah, you got a good ass game.
I'm excited for those Worves. I do we I'm just like, do I want anything to happen with Geese?
Oh, you don't.
Do I want him to crawl out of a grave?
I mean, God. Like, okay. Flashback. But no. If Rock Howard can't flashback, well, no, I guess.
Can't he be Nightmare Geese?
He can flash back to Dream Nightmare Geese. He could, because Geese was alive for the first couple years of his life. You know, he did have a solid maybe 5 or so years, right, before Terry fucking blew his ass out of that skyscraper.
Wait, is the implication here that like Geese taught a 5-year-old how to do Raging Storm?
I think the idea is like he kind of saw it peeking from behind a pillar, right? He saw it happening while they were fighting, but it's in his blood, because a whole part of like every time he does one of the Raging Storm moves, or when he does Deadly Rave Neo, at the end he goes like, ah, and it hurts him, and he's like, my blood is boiling. His win quotes are all about how like his evil Howard blood, like the evil businessman CEO blood within him is burning inside. You know, like it can only take the calm lessons of a homeless like pizza delivery man to get that out of him.
Terry's not calm. Terry's also got burning blood.
Yeah, but he's like off the couch.
This is not evil.
No, he's on the couch like burning blood, you know? Like it burns and then it goes back to fucking mellowing out, you know? Like it was burning for a while when Jeff Bogard died, and then he got it out of his system, and now he just hangs out on the couch. He got his revenge. He did.
Yeah, he got it, and he's like, okay,
he didn't even want it, you know? He
time
tried
to just make do.
He tried to save him. Certainly they existed, those blinded by ambition. And they wanted to fucking talk mad shit and pop off. So they're like, they pulled Geese pulled the ultimate, you didn't win. Fuck you. You know? Which is cold as ice when you have a child. Like, to literally be like, nah, taking this L and haunting your dreams is more important than my kid, though. Fuck. But yeah, and then when you go watch the Days of Memories, you know, the anime bits there, like Rock's out and about doing his thing, living in Southtown, trying to get the house in order, and Terry's just on the couch the entire time. He's just fucking he's being Terry, you know. He's like, I raised you, I gave you the cap, we had our moments, now fucking go pay the bills, kid. Yeah, I we'll see if Rock inherits his commitment to motorcycle ass slaps across the entire cast as all the girls sit at an udon stand.
Yeah. Terry, what was up with that? Don't worry about it.
All right. What else is going on? With that, we also got a trailer for um, X-Men '97, which is coming out this week. That's some cool shit that doesn't happen often enough. It's like, yo, we're gonna resume where we left off in 1997.
So I have a bunch of questions relating to that, which is where can I watch X-Men '97? Because
on Disney Plus,
it's up there.
That's where it's gonna be.
Because I was talking to Paige about this. She was also a big fan of X-Men '97. Christ, everybody.
Right? Like, that's an anthem.
But the part that got her, I'm like, do you remember when they fought the Phalanx? And she's like, no. Like, oh yeah, because that was like the last season where they only aired every episode once, and it never went into syndication.
Oh God, like, so that was extra hard to catch in Canada as well. And I have these like visions of like an episode in the last season when they cut to like the implication of Avengers, but they couldn't show them legally. I don't think they had the rights to. So you just see a spider hand, and you see like, I think like maybe like a shield, like a cap shield for like a second, you know?
Yeah.
But
it was because the Phalanx were attacking the planet, or was the Brood or something. But like, yeah, there was a bunch of shit that like only aired like once, and one time slot ever. So like, I caught the Phalanx episodes, and they were cool as fuck. And then I went to go talk to people at school about them, and they're like, "What are you talking about? That didn't happen." Because they would just watch it on syndication. They would just see the reruns all the time.
That was the way. That was the easiest way for sure. What is cool is that showing it off, like the first thing that you see, and like the main, if anything, it's like, okay, so they're going back, but I was wondering, I'm like, are you going to keep the animation style faithful? And the answer is no. We're gonna make this shit look better, and they're doing.
But they're gonna have faithful
models. The
shots.
Character, the shots, the colors, the voice acting for the most part, because I think Wolverine's different, but.
He's not. He's just old.
Oh, time. Okay, fair. Fair enough.
He's like 80.
They're doing shit that is so like modern and sick with their team ups and stuff. Because like Fastball Special is like, yeah, that was how we started. Now you see them taking on Sentinels and doing all kinds of wild shit. That's more action oriented and hype for sure. But it's definitely like way beyond the scope of anything 97 would have done. You know. But yeah, that's a cool thing, I think, especially given like, I don't know that just another X-Men reboot certainly would have been like, okay, let's tune in, let's see what they're doing with it. But it's kind of like Ninja Turtles, where it's like, well, it might hit, it might not, who knows what they're doing. Oh, this time you had a fun take on it. Okay, that's cool, you know. But like the idea of like going right back to that one is pretty dope. Hand in hand with that actually is the. Just a little tweet, but Giuna was retweeted this thing that was about X-Men Children of the Atom, the old arcade game. Just a bit about the sprites and the way that they designed that when Capcom was making them. When everyone does their special in that game, they make an X with their hands. So Wolverine, before he does Weapon X, everyone like he crouches and does the pose for sure, but not just him.
So I recognized it on Wolverine. I for some reason didn't recognize it on any other character.
Cyclops, before he does the optic blast, right? Like he crosses his hands. Rogue does an X with her hands as well. All of them do right before the pop. And it makes perfect sense because in Children of the Atom, when they did their super, you heard the big X. You know, and then they would do the big final attack. It was really, really cool. Like they did it. It's just a subtle but nice effect to that. Something that has always been it always kind of bugged me was that the animation quality in Children of the Atom and in Marvel superheroes is so much higher than in all the Marvel versus games that came afterwards. They dropped down the detail and the amount of tweening on the sprites and stuff, and like you basically saw the frame rate drop. But if you go back to original Children of the Atom and you go back to Marvel superheroes go. Just look at Wolverine's standing animation, right? He's moving like Elena is in Third Strike. It's incredibly detailed. And then you go see him in like, Marvel 2, where they really just went for quality over quantity, and he's just kind of like a 1 or 2 frames or so.
So, it's just one of those things. You mentioned earlier, God, we were talking about King of Fighters, and we're talking about Ultimate Marvel.
Yeah.
And how they didn't carry some of the effects forward. And it's like, okay, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 looks way better than Marvel vs. Capcom 2. CVS 1 looks way better than CVS 2. X-Men, Children of the Atom, and Marvel Superheroes look better than every Versus game that's ever come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things when you're like, well, how many characters you want? Well, they have to kind of look the same.
We're making a sequel. We're going to make it on a faster time schedule. And to be fair, CVS 2's yellow diamond layout is gorgeous. It's super cool and distinct, but it's got nothing on the CVS 1 arrows, for sure. Yeah. It is a matter of time and then like compressing the data as well. You go look at, I forgot, was it Guile? I feel like I forget who it was, but there's a character in Marvel 2 that has a standing animation that's, I think, like 2 frames. Like it's like dropped
that
to.
That sounds like Guile.
It's dropped to the most basic it's ever been, and there's so many other points of comparison from every other iteration where you can see the full animation, and it's like, god damn it. Even the way they slide when it's like the battle for survival begins, engage, right before the fight starts, you see them kind of sliding around with 1 or 2 frames.
I know exactly what you mean.
And then you actually start fighting. But it's fine, because if we do a lot of big 3D explosive particle effects, it'll just cover up how like jagged and pixelated the Omega Red sprite looks, Anyway, X-Men, that's cool.
I like that X-Men. What they do to Rogue? Her fucking ass fell off.
Did it?
Oh, you didn't see this?
Oh no, is it gone?
Her whole ass just done fall off, man.
They solid snaked her?
Oh, they sure did.
Oh, fuck! I didn't see it.
Oh, well, you're not going to see it anymore.
Yeah, well, there it goes.
What happens to Rogue's ass? I bet that'll bring up... brought up a screenshot right away!
God damn it. Let me see.
Here's the tweet. I'm sending it to you.
Oh,
Get ready to be pissed off.
Oh,
okay,
no. Okay, hold on. Okay, yes. That screenshot is famous, though.
That's very famous.
That famous Rogue screenshot is not indicative of the usual. That was a particularly caked up moment. I don't think that should be the baseline. Hold on. Right? Like you need to find a regular moment of Rogue, because but look at her on the floor in front of Apocalypse is crazy. What do we got?
No, that's what it was like every time.
The GAT was not always in place.
No. You can't use that retroactively. That term's 30 years away.
It stops as soon as we go back in time.
No.
They solid snaked it. But again, like there's I feel like you could find a not that insane shot from the Apocalypse shot, that the glory of that was not the regular consistency of it. It was less than that. But boo to the cowards that deny the cake. Fuck that. Rogue is that a character, between that and the evolution haircut like argument, that's wars. Blood will be spilled.
And here's like the fun part, where I'm sure they'll do an interview at some point where, like, well, we didn't want Rogue to be like a sex object. I'm like, that's the fucking point.
Rogue is hot.
She's a sex object that you die if you touch, losers.
Rogue is the fucking. That's no. I don't imagine so. And the fact that this heat, you could see, like, so Mondo recently made the Rogue toy, and they didn't want any of it because it's classic Rogue, but they put the evolution head on it so that you can put that just in case. You know, they don't
just in case.
they don't want that heat. They don't want to get involved in the fight. You can have whichever rogue you want. Leave us out of it. Yeah, so that is coming out this week. Hey, we got a new okay, so dinosaur news. In dinosaur news this week.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
We've got an update. So that's the segment.
Okay, before we even go in there, like we're looking at baby clothes, right? And we're getting baby clothes from like community resources and stuff. And we're like, and Paige is like, man, girls have so many clothes. You look at your boy clothes and it's like, you know, trucks and dinosaurs and shit, right? It's so limited. And I'm like, yeah, but trucks and dinosaurs are so cool. And I said it like too loud. She was like, God damn it.
Trucks and dinosaurs are universally rad. There's no argument here. Except for in the follow.
I'm like a child, dude. I am like a baby. It's bad out
here.
The
only thing better than trucks and dinosaurs is when trucks are dinosaurs.
Oh my god. What about Cadillacs?
Truckosaurus.
Tell me your new dinosaur news.
Nintendo's lawyers have been sending infringement notices to Tom Fulp over at Newgrounds over adult art featuring Nintendo characters.
You know, Wooly, I got to admit, you wound me up on this one.
I mean,
you wound me up. I thought you were going to be like, they discovered a new type of dinosaur that could drive a car.
Oh, you thought dinosaur news was dinosaur news. I see. Yeah, that's your mistake.
I literally did think that.
That's your fault. No. Dinosaur news is, in fact, actually dinosaur news. This is what we're doing. Nintendo has decided to pick up arms, to take arms and start stabbing the ocean, telling the water to stay out of its territory. And Tom Fulp has replied and said that, yeah, we're complying to the best of our ability. And hey, if you do art, try to do original characters, I guess. But what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
And Nero, slighted by the god Poseidon, commanded his centurions to throw their spears into the sea.
Water. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The only way to defeat him. I mean, God, like if you want to just like this, we're trying like every once in a while you get the update of like, oh, Nintendo's lawyers, what are they up to? And then you see this and you're like, oh, like they still don't know where they are or what's exactly happening around them. It like literal just blind dinosaur old man trying to feel its way through this complicated world. Someone might have shown them a thick piece of Bowsette art, and you know the heart rate might have jumped up a little bit, and then we need to do something about this. Let's start trying to take down all of the lewd Nintendo art on the internet. And if you're their lawyers, right, here's the thing: if you're like a young up and coming partner at a given firm that has been what's the word when you lock down a law firm for retainer. When you get a retainer and you're working for them, and you hear them say something like, what, our characters are being depicted in a mature manner, this isn't kosher for children, we need to hide that, we need to take that down. You're like, oh, I'll get on it right away, because you're going to be working from now till the end of time. Like there are infinity.
I'm so excited about this. Oh man.
There are infinity cease and desists that you can send out. Infinity useless things to do, and you're going to get paid for all of it. So you have no problem whatsoever.
So it's fun. I don't know if you have this on the docket, even though I know we both responded to it on social media. This actually ties in great with a different story that happened this week, where clueless idiot Luke Plunkett was interviewing that's of Kotaku, was interviewing a former Pokemon Company lawyer and ask the question. So how do you find all this copyright infringement in these fan games? And the lawyer just goes, "Oh, you guys. I would just read Kotaku, or somebody would send me a link to a Kotaku article, and it would be right there, and we would just send out the fucking cease and desist."
Thanks for the
Luke has the audacity to go, "Oh no, I had no idea." Like, you fucking stupid.
Oh no.
I don't believe that for a second. You're an adult man. You are faking it. You are faking it to avoid guilt.
What more can I say? What more can I do? I did this all for you. I really, really tried. For years later, this shit to come back around in that particular manner. Very candid, too. Just, oh yeah, no, every time you report, actually, thank you.
Every time, yeah, it's you guys.
And like that, I mean, I had been yelling about that prior to making that video for years before as well. Like, it hit.
And I had been standing there agreeing with you.
It had been happening. So it had happened so many times that I'm like, fuck this. I need to literally make a thing to put in time to point back to. And in that thing at the time, there is the scrolling list of casualties that occur at the time. Because yeah. Guess what? Every single time one of these articles goes up, that's all it is. It is
it's dead. Oh, what happened?
It is the fucking laser pointer in StarCraft pointing at your base before nuclear launch detected. Like that's literally all you're doing is you're pointing the laser over there, guys. Nintendo, drop the bombardment over there. So yeah, that was a fucking hilarious update to that story, I suppose. You know, which garnered heat at the time, especially as well, which was like, anyway.
So like, I'm gonna pull a random factoid out here, and it's like one of the single most repugnant human emotion to others. Has been tested again and again, and it's insincerity, right? So like when people are like openly insincere, it's just repellent to almost everyone as a personality type. So strong, right? And this fucking fake ignorance of, oh my God, was it really us? Is just repugnant.
You're reading
it's
it.
Just so fucking gross.
You're reading it in text format, and so with the text format, you're even getting the edited italicization of the O. Oh no. Right? It's a moment in a screenplay that's being read out. There's not you know, like yeah, it's that's a particular fun one. Anyways, shout outs to Link's Awakening DXHD, the fan project that showed up, dropped, and fucking ghosted.
I definitely don't have it on this computer right now.
Shout outs to that.
I would never.
Just hey, where the fuck did that? Where you going?
Oh wow, that was fast.
Damn, what was that? Oh, it's Link's Awakening DX ported to PC. That's crazy, man.
Oh wow,
nuts.
Oh, it's like a way better port than the $60 Switch game they put out because it doesn't have fucked up frame rate shit. Oh wow. I mean, I don't know that. Somebody told me I didn't play it because I never downloaded it. I would never.
Don't make me tap the sign. Nope, I'm gonna be tapping the sign forever. That's okay.
Like, there's even like an addendum to your sign, which is like, don't tell nobody, but sometimes you need staff. So it's like at least don't talk to a reporter. How about that?
Like,
how about that, huh? At the very least.
Mm-hmm. I really tried to come at it from as many angles as possible. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Nintendo lawyers. That has been your Dinosaur news update.
Believe how fucking stupid I am that you said, Pat, I have dinosaur news, and thought you were going to tell me about some new kind of T-Rex. Like, I can't believe it.
Okay, well, I can tell you about a new kind of T-Rex if that's what you want to hear.
Fuck yeah!
Okay. The new kind of T-Rex over in Palworld is making so much money that they don't know what to do with it.
Have they actually said we literally don't know what to do with it?
The boss of Palworld developer Pocketpair says the hit game cost less than 1 billion yen, so 6.7 million, and has generated more than 10 times that amount. And the massive profits are so large that the small studio of 55 people cannot handle it. This amount is too big for a studio of our size to handle. He has no intention of expanding or offering shares. He wants the company to remain small. He's open to partnership or acquisition, but hasn't yet started talking to anybody. But they're talking about bringing it to more platforms, and pretty much that's all they're looking at right now. They don't know what to do with the money that Palworld is making.
Too much money!
Ah! The Palworld flow! Ah!
It's really nice. It's so nice that they're just straight up just like
the ops.
We don't know what to do with this money.
Every time he's talking about the ops, he's talking about the Pokemon Company. Oh shit! God damn. We lighten up that Snorlax pack. I don't give a shit. Ah! Fuck, man. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I don't know what to do with it.
Palworld is making too much money. I let the Archangels take the Pokemon Company. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's incredible. Oh, that's my favorite bit. Yeah. Damn. Oh, we got that legendary pack, man. That's what we're on. All right. It's
good for them.
Good for them. Good for them. You know, that's what you want to hear in this time. I'm sure they'll figure out what to do with it.
They'll probably staff up and leave some maintenance people on Palworld while they work on some new game. But don't staff up too much. Who was it recently? There was I forget what company it was, but they were doing. Oh, it was Helldivers.
Mm-hmm.
The Helldivers devs, I think they were asked about. Do you have any plans with the massive success of Helldivers 2? Is there any plans to like increase staff and make Helldivers 2 even bigger and better? And they were like, no. Like massively increasing staff just so you can fire those people later is stupid.
How about that?
Stupid.
How about not expanding for no reason? How about that? Yeah. I mean, like,
I don't know if you've been following the Helldivers news, man, but Joel is fucking with people.
Oh yeah.
He is. Oh, Joel is an evil motherfucker. I tell you about the flying bugs and the snipers.
No.
Okay, so this is so fucking great. This is so fucking good. Okay, so the robot, the Patriot exosuits come down, right? Everybody's got their fucking nice Patriot exosuits, right? And then Chargers, which are an armored type of bug, put out a patch note. Well, listen, they're going to be easier to kill, and we have fixed the distribution, so there aren't going to be as many spawns of Chargers all at once, which is hard to deal with, right? Everyone's like, hooray! Hooray! We got the suits, and now the bugs have been reorganized, so they're not as annoying to deal with. And then like a couple of guys put up footage of like, there are just flying bugs in the game now attacking me right now. Here is a video of me being attacked by flying bugs. But it's only like sometimes, like it's very rare.
Huh.
And they post the video, and the CEO is like, I find it offensive, the idea that any bug could fly. This is obviously bug propaganda. and they're like gaslighting the shit out of people, and people are pointing out that like there are flying bugs on the game's poster, and the CEO and the community team were like, that's obviously a misprint, that could be anything,
that shouldn't happen, that's a bug.
Yeah. But on top of that, people are putting up footage of strange blue lights in the sky that don't seem to be coming from anywhere, and being hit with blue laser sniper rounds from nowhere on certain maps that don't fit any existing enemy. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And they are seeding like UFO attacks by the Illuminate in random games.
So, okay, I didn't put it on the docket last time, but I saw a story relating to Helldivers that was, we hired a DM for the narrative of this game.
Yeah, that's Joel.
Okay, and essentially there's a lore game master that is changing and affecting things throughout a given season online for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of
they recently fixed the the tracker that shows how many people are in what sector. And some guy caught it that at a completely uncontested sector of the map that we've never been to, there was one Helldiver operating a few days ago. Whoa. And it's like, it's Joel! Joel's over there!
He's doing some shit.
He's laying down tracks and setting up Illuminate and making flying bombs.
What you up to over there? Nice. Yeah. That's fun.
Oh, there's so much.
What's going on with this family share
okay. So Steam game library sharing is cool, but it always had a couple of issues. The main issue is that I would give, like, let's say Paige, I'd be like, Paige, you have access to my Steam account. And that'd be great. Except I'd be over here, I'd be streaming, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. And Paige would go to play something that would be part of my Steam account. And it would go, hey, the owner of the Steam account is playing Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Do you want to kick them from their session? And she would go, no. So you'd have to do offline mode and be a whole fucking thing, blah, blah, blah. So today, this morning, as part of the Steam client beta, Family Share is here. And Family Share has two parts. Part one is that you can turn your regular ass Steam account into family mode. In family mode, you have the option to disable the store. You have the option to disable all social functions, profile, etc. And then you can limit specific games in the library. So if you want to just family mode your Steam account for your child or person in your house, you can do so. And it will and you can just get out of it with a quick pin, like do, right?
Simple.
Or what you can do is you can make a new Steam account and you can add that to your family plan, and you can make that an adult or a child account. Adult is a normal account but just shares all your games, and the difference here is as long as you're not playing the same game, they can use your Steam account as you will.
That's fucking
great. So I
great.
could be over here playing Dragon's Dogma 2, and Paige could start a fucking file on Infinite Wealth that is coming off of my account, and it would be completely fine.
It's like, congratulations. This simple and easy thing has now allowed basically the ability to, if you lived in a house with someone that has a physical cartridge, it's like, oh yeah, here you go. Oh, thanks.
And they're like, listen, if you want to play multiplayer, you both have to own a copy. And you know what? That makes perfect sense.
Sure.
There's no right.
Sure.
Okay, fine.
But otherwise,
following up, I made a dummy account to test this. So I made a dummy account that has nothing on it, and I said, I am going to pretend to be the child. I'm going to be Pat Jr.'s Steam account. And I added that account to my family share as a child account. So the child account still has access to the Steam library, but you can limit what games, right, that are being transferred. If you don't put any money, you don't put a PayPal or any credit card thing in there, it'll have no way to buy games other than a button on the fucking cart that says request. and when you hit that request button, it
You
goes
get
to
it.
the primary account, and it goes, this account has requested
This
purchase
game.
of this game.
Yeah, there you go. There you
And
go.
you can hit your button and it'll go through your payment
Mm-hmm.
to do it. But here's the best part. I hit request and then I canceled the request. But on my primary account, you go into requests and it goes, this account requested this game at such and such a time, X minutes ago. X has canceled this request X minutes ago. And then you go one tab over and it gives you the playtime for every single game they use on that account.
There you go. Parental, yeah. Just
So if I somehow that kid gets fucking Orc Massage on their Steam account, right, and is playing Orc Massage in private, and like, too bad, shithead. The parental controls showed me what time of day and for how many minutes you played Orc Massage.
Also, in addition to that, the concept of the rolling legacy Steam account can now move forward into the future, where great grandpa had thousands of games, and that has now become a dragon's treasure trove, providing that Steam continues to be a thing.
So you have your account plus 5 others that you can add into your family plan. So, like, I'm just saying,
That's crazy.
if you have a bunch of Steam games and your friends are poor, you can just say,
we're family.
yeah, we're a family. Like, they don't fucking ask you for your birth certificate.
I wonder if that point, if it takes multiple copies into account, like if 2 people are a family but they both bought this game, do you now have individual copies that, because you both bought it, you should be able to both boot it. If it stops you, that'd be wrong. So
I don't like the fact that I looked down and saw the phrase Steam Polycule. Not.
Hey man, you don't get to decide what happens in anyone's bedroom or their Steam account.
Anyway, so library sharing was always kind of annoying. At the base level, this has turned library sharing into what it kind of always should have been, which is totally painless. Totally painless. It's in beta. It's already working perfectly. I tested it across 2 computers and various accounts. It's great.
Digital game ownership should be 100% parallel to physical. There should be nothing about it that can backfire and bite you in the ass. If your account or if your ability to log in is gone or whatever, you should still be able to have a copy of that game local that you can still preserve into the future that you can play regardless. If the internet goes down, you should be able to have that. You should be able to let someone else play or hand it to a friend. It should be the same as having a cartridge in every single way.
Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. This is really important. The publisher or developer have the ability to turn this feature off. So if you would like to hear what games aren't available through this system, I have that list right here because it actually shows you in the tab which games have been disabled.
Let me guess.
Hey,
Let me fucking
Bandai
guess.
Namco.
Everything Ubisoft.
Every single thing Ubisoft
Everything
is on this
Ubisoft.
list.
Of course it is.
So, okay, we got Ace Combat, Assault Horizon, Assassin's Creed, Fall Guys, Far Cry, For Honor, Grand Theft Auto,
the whole thing.
It Takes Two, Kingdom Come Deliverance, L.A. Noire,
everything
Last
EA.
Epoch, Lost in Random, Mass Effect, PUBG, Red Dead 2.
EA. There's no chance.
Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
Man.
Both Jedi games, Temtem.
User friendly? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I love about these types of moments? It's kind of like when
Titanfall 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Trials Evolution.
So this is like when Lab Zero went, hey everybody, we made libraries to allow any current gen system to use old arcade sticks, and everyone can use it, and it's free. Here you go. If your favorite fighting game does not allow you to use your currently owned old last gen stick, it's because they don't want you to.
Yeah. So here's where it gets really fun. So all the ones that don't work is because of external launchers, because they have to go to their other fucking bullshit accounts.
Of course. You play.
And the Capcom games is super weird because Capcom has a million fucking games, and it's only Resident Evil 0 and Operation Raccoon City. Like Dragon's Dogma 1 is shareable.
There and it's fine. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This system is fucking awesome for everyone. And I was just thinking about how, like, hey, you know what's awesome? How I use Steam and I choose to use Steam, and Steam will just give me a fucking gift of an amazing feature at random. They don't even fucking announce these things that they're coming. They're just like, family sharing, yeah, share all your shit forever. PC game sharing is now as easy or easier than physical game sharing.
Mm-hmm. Because yeah, I've been for a while. Punch Mom was just playing games off of my account, and then she started playing enough that I was like, okay, well, let's set up yours so we can play stuff together, and obviously like. Give,
and they go to
gifts.
the trouble in the FAQ or FAQ. I don't know how you say it. Be like, by the way, if you're borrowing a game from Steam Family Share, don't worry, you'll make your own save games on your own account.
Great. Yes, of course.
So if you choose to buy that game in the future, just keep going, no problem. It's great. Hey, I gotta take a quick break.
BRB. Let's take some letters.
Hey, I love letters. Do you want to? Hey, if you want to send in a letter, send it into castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. I had a bit of a trouble there.
There we go.
Had a bit of a trouble.
Got one coming in from Dylan from Vancouver.
Hey, Dylan.
Says, hey, Pat and Wooly, what are some of the things in media that were either overemphasized or tricked you into thinking that they'd be much more common than they were in real life? For example, people in quicksand being stuck is a common occurrence, or hanging out at a mall 24/7 like mall rats or 16.
Okay, hold on. That's a really good example because when Mallrats was made, that was real. That was what people totally did all the time.
I have friends that as soon as school was done, the first thing they do is get on the bus, go right down the street to the mall, and chill there till at least 9-10 p.m. and then go home.
That's a historical anachronism.
Quicksand definitely became a big trope, probably because of like one movie. I feel like maybe like I imagine being like some kind of like old Jungle Book or some kind of movie from the 70s or older must have had that and then put the idea out there. I feel like I was tricked by tricked by cartoons and children's TV into thinking that Brussels sprouts were disgusting, when in fact they're fucking delicious, especially when they're grilled.
There's actually a story behind that, Wooly.
Is it because as an adult your bitter sensors are more pronounced, and as a kid you taste sweet better?
So that's one of them. But the actual reality is that Brussels sprouts, when we were kids were disgusting. So you ate them as a child.
I heard this.
And they would taste like shit.
Okay.
And their terrible taste caused the Brussels sprouts industry to breed them to not taste like shit.
Okay.
And then the next time you had them as an adult, they were completely different. And you were like, these are great. I don't know why I ever hated them as a kid. Because they were bad when you were a kid.
Okay. We GMO'd them into tasting good. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think this is ringing a bell. I feel like I have already learned this. Damn, that's crazy. I mean, bananas. Obviously, we've talked many times about how bananas. There was a giant fucking plague that wiped out all the bananas except for the Dole one. So that's the only banana we have now. But people remember many back in the day.
So, I remember my dad on a Sunday afternoon in 1992 allowed me to watch a cool sci-fi movie featuring Martin Short and Dennis Quaid called Inner Space that was released in 1987 by Steven Spielberg. This movie was not appropriate for Pat.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very intense, and convinced me as a child in 92 that there is always a possibility that someone could run up on you in the mall and stab you with a fucking syringe and you not know what's in it.
God damn it, that's where it came from.
And I cannot even tell you.
Oh man,
how badly it
I know the damage.
You met the version of me as an adult that was terrified of being stabbed with the syringe. You can't even imagine how fucking terrified I was of being stabbed with a syringe as a fucking 7 or 8-year-old.
That's where it came from. That's crazy.
And you can watch the fucking scene I'm talking about in Inner Space. It's a scientist and he's running through the mall and he's all disheveled, and Martin Short's just standing on an escalator and he falls and he goes, ah, and just stabs him in the back of the leg. He didn't even see him. And just goes, I've been stabbed with a syringe.
Christ, man. Yeah, okay. So, because I remember when the internet, like, like lore about like, there's like AIDS needles that people are putting in cinema seats, and some guy sat down and he got pricked, and then there was a sticker that said "Welcome to the world of AIDS." And
yeah, that's not real. No,
yeah,
no,
never,
AIDS
no. But it was
waste their needle.
Jesus Christ. But like that was one of those stupid emails that went around in early internet days, and like and you kind of are like, oh, next time I go to a theater, I'm gonna check the seats real thoroughly, and then like literally like for what, like a couple weeks later, it's like, okay, this is horseshit. That fucking was nonsense, you know.
I like the Halloween candy is
we talked about that for sure.
Is great. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. That was actually real, except it was the parent that was deliberately hurting their own kid.
Most Halloween candy things are the parents trying to figure out a way to kill their kids without getting caught.
But that syringe shit, yeah, that's a fucking canon event, man. Like, and it's like life goes on. That never fucking occurs, except for, I guess, that one time when Kim Jong Un's brother in an airport just got fucking assassinated in broad daylight.
Yeah.
I think that was a like random syringing that just like ran up.
Hey, listen, the chance of you being stabbed with a mystery syringe are low, but never zero.
And I did see a detailed like close up on like what a particular one that has been used many times looks like, and that is like that is the Marn's leg territory, like that shit you fucking said earlier. Like, go looking up close at what one of those looks like after multiple uses is horrendous. So yeah, okay, that's where that came from. God
I don't
damn.
know if you ever ran into it in Yakuza 0, but in Yakuza 0 there is a heat action where in public park number 3, I think it is, there is a syringe on the ground, and you can use the heat action essence of mysterious syringe.
Oh, no. Oh, that's horrible. Like, here's
I remember
the thing.
it so vividly because I was just like, no.
Like, the thing about your irrational fear is that the real version of that is as horrifying as you do feel it is. Like, it is that bad. The likelihood is absurd. That's but if it were to actually start occurring, that is the correct response. Like, yeah. Okay.
I don't like it.
All right. Got one coming in here. Dear hoarders of early access saves, over the years, I've noticed that loading up a save and trying to remember who characters are or how a game works bothers me more than the idea of throwing away progress and starting a fresh playthrough. For example, I feel like I may as well start a new save when I go back to P5 Royale, which I feel is reasonable due to the heavy plot character focus. However,
depends where you're at.
When I replayed Monster Hunter World from the tutorial instead of loading my base game save when I picked up Iceborne, which I've been told is weird. In the most extreme example, I started fresh saves on roguelites before, even if the game barely had any progression. Do you consider this a problem, and do you have tricks to relearn skills that you haven't used in a while to overcome the feeling of being lost?
I mean, it depends. It depends on how in-depth the game's actual systems are, and it depends on how far away you are from them. Like, Monster Hunter's basic general through line is going to be the same the whole way through. It's just going to be level of difficulty. So yeah, you could have just dove back into like high rank and just, you know, figured it out from there. For Persona 5, you think you want to start over, and then you get to like the 2-hour mark, and you're like, when are you going to let me fucking play the game, please?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I shouldn't have fucking started over.
Games like that exactly have the problem that those games have is a problem that a lot of, honestly, like the viewers have as well, which is your brain deletes a lot of the downtime out of your favorite games. So when you're watching them be played or let's played, you forget about how long that fucking downtime section was.
Funny? So we've been talking about Dragon's Dogma a lot, and obviously we're only talking about Dragon's Dogma 1, the only one we know about. But in Dragon's Dogma, there's a lot of downtime. And you don't forget that downtime, because that downtime is like, it's like part of it. It's like core.
Okay. You're
right. So like when you're like, should I restart Dark Arisen? And you're like, well, where are you at? It's like, well, I got to the city, and you know, I'm exploring around. It's like, you should not restart it, because the worm hunt stuff actually takes like a weirdly long time.
But in addition to that, like rose colored, like filler deleting memory of just highlighted cool moments in someone's brain with like, oh yeah, go ahead, restart. It's not that bad. There's also me who I've had too many. If you want to talk about canon events, I've had too many lost save data canon events that have affected me, so that I have a stronger than average aversion to losing progress. The feeling of losing progress in games in particular makes me extremely upset because of what happened to me with FF7 and with Mugen back in the day. So I will do everything I can to completely avoid that. And in most cases, if I ever feel like I have too much rust or I forget what was going on, that's where, if I've been Let's Playing it, for example, I can go back and watch the footage, right? That's great. Or watch someone else's even. I honestly feel like for refreshing on things, because there's times where just getting the story beats for a game like Yakuza is not enough. Like, getting the story beats helps, but little things like, how do you fight Mr. Shakedown again? I forgot. I figured this out and I forget the specifics of it.
Hit him in the ass.
Right. What was the strategy for, playing darts or whatever? It was like, yeah, this is where a Let's Play, like, legitimately is super handy to just jump around to those places and see it played out again. I will, if it depend, like, yeah, if it's a matter of like a few hours or not that big a deal, it's fine. But anything kind of significant, and I'm just gonna fucking go catch back up elsewhere and resume. I will say that, like, progress
as I've gotten older. When I was younger and I had all the time in the fucking world, I would just restart every time I was halfway through. I don't care. I'm restarting.
Back then, yeah, sure.
There are games that I restarted from the fucking, turns out, the 85-90% mark that I didn't realize I was that close to the end.
Oof.
Whatever. Yeah, you're a kid. You have all the time in the world. But as I've gotten older, I've tried to not do that as much because it's so time intensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as bad as you think it's going to be. That inertial, like 30 minutes of, how do these items go to my moves? Like, yeah, you get over like a half hour, 45-minute period. You're back into it. You're fine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I also think part of the bit with me being not much of a restarter is also because I'm not much of a replayer either. Like I have that too as a particular quirk.
Now, luckily, you're getting into Dragon's Dogma now, which is a big replayer. That's a good game for replaying. Dark Arisen, very good game for replaying.
Well,
there are 3 ways you can play that game.
Well, when replaying is part of the point and the core, then it's fantastic. Like replaying in Zero Escape or Nier is, that's part of the actual single narrative. So I don't consider that the same thing.
No, I don't even mean that. I just mean like the Dark Arisen has like 3 dramatically different ways you can play that game.
Oh, not just like
they
put that
and Black Isle in there,
and
not even storyline. Just like, hey, fuck the entire game. I'm just gonna go to that super dungeon, Bitter Black Isle, and I'm just gonna make it work. just fucking, you just start a new game in Dark Arisen and go, fuck all of that. I'm gonna go to the expansion zone for high level characters, and because of the way the math works on experience, you'll fucking catch up like in 40 minutes.
But then once you're done,
you'll be able to do that right away.
But then once you're done, you go back to the regular missions, right?
Yeah, and then you just
steamroll them,
crush that shit like it's nothing.
Okay. All right. Let's take one over here from Ian says, "Hey, mental stack and mind goblin." That's pretty good.
Oh yeah. That is your brain aneurysm like nickname.
Yeah. Recently been collecting all the work from my favorite mangaka, Kyu Hayashida, and just got her first publication, which is a manga adaptation of the Dreamcast game Macken X. Jesus Christ. Macken, do you remember?
Really?
It's an Atlas game with art. Yeah, Macken X is like, that old Kaneko Dreamcast first-person sword game. You want to talk about a deep fucking pull? That, like, I don't know anything else about it except
an old adaptation, right?
Yeah, super old. And you sword and you again Kaneko characters doing that weird shit. Boy, what? Yeah, okay. It's yeah, with the art from SMT artist Kazuma Kaneko. And what's funny about this is that Hayashida's art couldn't be more the opposite from Kaneko's sleek and clean style. It's very dirty and grungy. But that being said, she kills it. What's your favorite example of an artist translating another's work into their own disparate style?
Oh, that's tough.
There's things where you see the art style change and it still stays good are so rare because like right off the bat I think of like how Castlevania went from that amazing Kojima painting artwork into the anime, style that it was for mass appeal, so I get it, but you lose so much of that fucking painterly goodness. And then even adapting it into 3D, it barely held up. Kojima was too good for the games to fucking, do justice to her art. But yeah, I something that manages to switch it up. And I mean, there's always a really fun picture of Araki drawing Naruto.
Other artists' characters, yeah.
Yeah, Araki drawing Naruto is pretty fun. It's a whole different flavor of character. I liked Nakayama was the artist that did Mega Man Zero. The Mega Man Zero art style is a really cool, completely fresh take on the Mega Man design style, but like it made a distinct thing, and now you can't fucking mistake it for anything else. So that's a particularly good one, I think.
I have like the shittiest possible answer. It's what just jumped into my fucking brain, and I can't help it. I can't turn it off. And it's just like, do you remember when Hideaki Itsuno said, "Hey, what if we made a Skyrim game, but it had good combat and was fun to play, and we called it Dragon's Dogma"? Oh, yeah. That was great. I love when they did that.
It's less of an art style thing and more of a concept thing, but sure, yeah. And yeah, no, on the Mega Man Zero bit, a valid criticisms that like they do look like little like diaper babies with their big elf eyes. They do, but it's cool. It's a distinct thing that works. And this is, I guess, in a weird way. You could technically argue Street Fighter 6. When we first saw those realistic characters, we're like, oh, there goes the Aki Man exaggerated art style in favor of something more realistic. And I guess that'll be the look from now on. But it's, especially with the new costumes and the way they're doing it, Street Fighter 6 looks pretty good. It looks pretty cool. I think we've warmed up to it quite a bit. Though it clearly has like left behind the exaggeration, Yeah.
I've got another one.
Okay.
So, I don't know who the original artists. George Kamatami always takes inspiration from like a very specific series of art back in the second edition of D&D. That hyper masculine warrior kind of shit.
Louis Royo. Vaccaro.
Yeah. I'm not super familiar with the old artist name, but I know George Kamatami takes a lot of inspiration from that. I am stalling for time so that somebody in the chat says Frank Frazetta.
Sure. Yeah, Frazetta is a big one too. Yeah, Frazetta.
Frank
Royo,
Frazetta
yeah.
Was like the face of D&D for a long time. And I was a really big fan when Daigo Ikeno, a very famous Capcom artist, looked at Frank Frazetta's art of a dragon and was like, but what if it was fucking super evil and it talked and it was in Dragon's Dogma and it looked like the coolest dragon ever? Instead of just being a generic red dragon.
So yeah, Dragon's Dogma then.
Yeah, no, I like the way the dragon looks in Dragon's Dogma.
Did a good job.
Yeah, I think that was cool.
There you go. Okay, all right, that'll do.
Discord's trying to stop me. Listen to the MP3. You'll hear what I had to say.
That's fine. Hey, that's a podcast. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get back to making too much money. I gotta. We smoking
Good
those.
luck with that, buddy.
We smoking those ghost poison type mega evolution Gengar runs. Pokemon Company forgot that I'm him.